This afternoon, Rutgers fans have arrived looking for the Scarlet Knights' 10th victory. It's senior day, so 9 players from Greg Schiano's first recruiting class are playing their final home game. The question now, is this the final home game for Greg Schiano at Rutgers? Hello, everybody. Welcome back inside SportsCenter U. Along with Steve Israel, I'm Mike Gleason. Yesterday, Miami fired Larry Coker. It's already known Greg Schiano is at the top of their wish list, so does he leave Rutgers?
It's going to be very, very tough for him to do it. His roots is in New Jersey. Greg Schiano's a Jersey kid. What he's done with this program and how he's built it, from day one, he said he was coming here to build a winner, not just a winner, a team that could compete for the national championship. And as you've seen this year, the way they've been chopping wood, he has them on that page. Not necessarily win a national championship, but we all can say that they're winners. For him leaving, it's going to be extremely tough. But what I will say is this. He was a defensive coordinator for the University of Miami in '99 and 2000. He knows what it takes to win there. He knows how to recruit in that area. He knows how to motivate and talk to those kids. And he has what it takes to get those guys riled up and get that team in the right direction.
That's great, but does he leave?
You know, it's going to be very tough. Not unless Rutgers can stick some more money in his pocket. But you know what? These opportunities only come around once. And he's really going to have to take a long, hard look at this situation.
7 o'clock tonight, we have NC State against East Carolina. NC State's dropped 6 straight. Can Chuck Amato survive?
You know, Chuck Amato, 5-6 2 years ago. Last year, 7-5. This year, right now, being 3-8. And the way he lost to Akron during the season, he can't survive this. They need a change.
Well, it's going to be interesting. We have some of those late-season rivalries to stay on top of today, and we'll be doing that right here all afternoon. Enjoy our first game of the day. Syracuse and Rutgers. Clay Matvick and Jay Walker are in New Jersey. Enjoy the first half. See you back here at halftime.
Thanks, Mike, and welcome to ESPNU College Football, presented by Allstate. Today, 2 teams on opposite ends of the Big East spectrum, and both coming off emotional weeks. The Syracuse Orange and the 15th-ranked Rutgers Scarlet Knights. It's a 3-way tie atop the Big East, and with 2 games to go, all 3 control their own destiny, including the Scarlet Knights. Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Jersey. Alongside my partner, former Howard quarterback Jay Walker, I'm Clay Matvick. Yeah, hopes for an undefeated season were dashed last week in Cincinnati, but Rutgers can still win the Big East, and they need a better performance from their star running back, Ray Rice, this week.
Anytime you're a Heisman Trophy candidate, your offense is dependent on you. Last week, Ray Rice had his worst season in terms of his worst game in terms of productivity, and that's why they took the loss to Cincinnati. Look for him to get it back in gear this week for the Scarlet Knights to get that offense going so they can finish up the season strong.
Meanwhile, Syracuse got its first Big East win in 2 years, and senior quarterback Perry Patterson is trying to finish his career as an Orange strong.
Yeah, this is going to be Perry Patterson's last football game as quarterback for the Orange, and it's been a roller coaster ride. He's played spectacularly at times. Other times he's been inconsistent, but give him credit. His senior season, he had a 12-3 touchdown to interception ratio. If he can play well today, the Orange have a chance at pulling off the upset.
Rutgers Stadium, it has seen some great football this year. The Scarlet Knights are 9-2 here this last couple of seasons. And what a beautiful day in central New Jersey. We could hit 60 degrees today. We're around 50 right now with light winds just before kickoff. Well, Greg Schiano, he is the man of the hour right now here in New Jersey and in Florida, too. There is a lot of buzz down there that he might be the man to replace Larry Coker as the head coach at Miami. One of the youngest and brightest coaches in the country.
You know, that's the one thing about winning. When you go to programs and you take programs that aren't used to winning and you turn them into winners, everybody wants you. They think you've got the recipe in a bottle, and give credit to Coach Schiano. He said the right things. Right now, he's the head football coach at Rutgers, and he's built such a festive college football atmosphere. You can see why he's on everybody's wish list.
And, of course, it's senior day here, and Mike Gleason touched on it at the top of the broadcast. 9 members of his first recruiting class playing their final home game here today at Rutgers. There was an emotional moment here before the start of this one.
I mean, you know, that's phenomenal. I mean, everybody knows the story of Rutgers football. It's played out on national TV. They've been down for so long, yet they're going to 2 bowl games in 2 years. This senior class deserves a lot of credit.
And Rutgers will receive. And we're underway here in New Jersey. Willie Foster, a big return to the 40. out to midfield, one man to beat. Touchdown, but there is a penalty flag down.
It's coming back.
A 98-yard return for Willie Foster, but there is a flag down. Yeah, block of the back.
It happened right around the 20-yard line at the very beginning of the return. And thing about it, Foster wasn't even going in that direction. He bust outside of the wedge in the opposite direction.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 21 on the receiving team, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
Yeah, take a look over on the left side there. They're going to say a block in the back, and you see it right there. These got bodies all over each other. Number 21 they called, and Foster did a good job. It was Devin McCourty with the block in the back, but look at the speed of Willie Foster. You wonder why is Rutgers so good in the 2006 season? They're a very fast football team.
Foster, the Big East Special Teams Player of the Year last year. You can see why. There is no question the guy has wheels.
I mean, it was impressive. He outran the angle on the return team, on the opposing team. I mean, they had angles on him, but he kicked into a gear, and he just was uncatchable.
So the ball is spotted at the 12-yard line after the penalty. Mike Teal under center, the starting quarterback. He's going to hand off right off the bat. And it's Ray Rice. And it's gut check time for Mike Teal, coming off the worst game of his career, and he knows it. Now let's see how he responds. He needs to do a better job today protecting that football. Picked off 4 times last week at Cincinnati.
You know, many people feel that they've won in spite of Teal's performance on the year, but I give credit to being a winner. Although that doesn't show up, we see the numbers, but he's a winner.
And something to watch today, Syracuse 7th in the NCAA with 17 interceptions. Second down and 7 at the 15. Teal backs away from center, 3-step drop, brings it down. He's going to run. He's out to the 15 and dives down at the 17-yard line. Well short of the first down. Well, Ray Rice gets all of the attention, but you can't overlook the contributions of Brian Leonard, the 5th-year senior fullback, dangerous as a runner and receiver, and Clark Harris, a great pass-catching end. On the line, 3 juniors, a couple of seniors. They've made some big holes for Ray Rice this year. Darnell Stapleton is considered their best lineman. So it's 3rd down and 6. First possession of the game. Teal is going to back off into the shotgun. 4 receivers lined up to the right, 1 to the left, and now we've got some motion. Actually, they're calling timeout. Syracuse has called a quick timeout. I can't imagine what this might be about.
Yeah, they've had some trouble adjusting. What Rutgers has gone to has been an empty backfield, and when they do that, Syracuse has kept people in the box. So by them keeping everybody in the box, they had too many people, and they had 5 wide receivers with only 4 defensive backs in the game. Yeah, you see the middle linebacker there on the inside. He's taking a look, and he says, that's Luke Kane. And he says, whoa, timeout, timeout. I don't have anybody to guard. So what he realizes, once they moved that running back out of the backfield, he was in no man's land. That's a smart timeout.
And Syracuse head coach Greg Robinson, also the defensive coordinator. Defense is his specialty. And as we talk about the Syracuse D, like Rutgers, they like to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback. They have 34 team sacks. Jameel McClain is their leader in that category. Mackey, Smith, and Kane are the linebackers. Smith, a future NFL draft pick. And in the secondary, Fields, Davis, Jackson, and Lemon. So Greg Robinson takes pride in defense.
He's a defensive kind of guy. You know, they've got a lot of sacks, and they get them from everywhere. They don't just get it with the defensive ends or the nose tackles. The linebackers get in, the free safeties. They bring pressure from all over the football field.
Now a 3-receiver look after that timeout. On 3rd down and 6, Teal.
Pressure.
Down he goes. Penalty flags come in. Kelvin Smith in on the sacks. Also, Tenard Jackson shooting in there from the secondary, but there's a penalty.
Personal foul, illegal contact to the helmet, 15 Penalty from the line of scrimmage. First down.
Now, they're aggressive. We told you that, but that time just a little too aggressive.
Yeah, they got there. And what happened when they had to make the high tackle, he went up and got around the helmets of the quarterback. Take a look. He's coming from your right side. You'll see him jump over. And once he got airborne, he grabbed that face mask a little bit. And wow, it was just for that 1 second. But the rules have been laid. If you touch a quarterback anywhere from the shoulder pads up, they're going to call a penalty flag on you.
Tenard Jackson considered the best cover corner that the Orange have. So on that corner blitz, hit for the penalty. And there you see Greg Robinson in his second year. He has 5 career wins and finally got his first Big East victory last week. So break for Rutgers, first down and 10 at the 32. They go back to the ground game. And there's our first look at Brian Leonard. Big part of this offense, the team leader in receptions and second in rushing yards. But he had a career-low 4 yards on just 2 carries last week, and that was kind of the story for Rutgers. Ray Rice, Leonard, both had bad games.
Career-low passing the ball, career-low running the football, career-low blocking and reception. But I like Brian Leonard. This is a guy that was a Heisman Trophy candidate as a fullback, yet the spotlight has gone from him to Ray Rice, and he hasn't complained. He just continues to go out there and do his job.
He's actually embraced it. Here's Teal throwing. Has a receiver at midfield. And Rutgers is down at the 43-yard line. Kenny Britt with the reception. And Britt, one of the youngest stars on this team, 23-yard catch there.
Yeah, no, this is what Mike Teal has to do. He's got to come out and loosen up the linebacker coverage there. And you'll see Kenny Britt doing a good job of getting to the second level in the passing scheme. And they need big plays like that because Syracuse is committed to stopping the run. They're keeping 7 men by the line of scrimmage. And until Rutgers completes more passes like that, look for them to eliminate the running game.
First down and 10 at the 43. Another 3-receiver look here for the Scarlet Knights on their opening possession. Quick inside handoff to Brian Leonard. Nice spin move. He's going to get a nice pickup on first down. Let's go to the studio for the first time today and Mike Gleason.
And Clay, check this out. West Virginia, South Florida, in Morgantown, 23-yard field goal. No, Travis McClintock, the holder, tries to take it in. He gets stuffed. He coughs up the football. Bulls recover inside the 5, still scoreless. Morgantown, Clay.
All right, thank you very much. Of course, the Scarlet Knights have to go to Morgantown next week. That could be a very big game. And the Knights have never won in Morgantown. Second down and 4. Pitch it back. Here's Rice, has room to operate. A first down and more. Bangs his way inside the 25, down at the 23. There's a reason why he's been in the Heisman conversation. As you take a look at the Big East standings, it's a 3-way tie atop the league. And there are 2 weeks to go.
I mean, it's a logjam. You got 3 teams that are 4-1, but there's some key matchups. I mean, the key thing, you got 2 teams that got to play each other. We talked about Rutgers has to go to West Virginia, and that's going to be another big game. One thing, if you're Coach Shiano with Rutgers, you've been battle-tested those big games before with the big win they had over Louisville, but going to a place they've never won before would be a mark on how far this program has truly come.
Tyquan Underwood goes in motion. Rutgers moving the football on this opening drive. Here's Leonard catching the pass. First down and pulled down at the 10. Again, a very good pass catcher for a fullback. A 13-yard pickup there. And Rutgers is banging on the door here early.
Yeah, what they're doing is loosening up the defense. And take a look at your left tackle, Pedro Sosa, setting up the screen. Big number 77, getting out there, being a lead blocker for Brian Leonard. You see him getting downfield blocking. And one thing about Leonard, once he catches that ball, he knows how to turn his shoulder square to the line of scrimmage and accelerate for extra yardage.
He is a guy that many people believe will be playing on Sundays. This is the 8th play of the drive for Rutgers. First down and 10. Look at Rice. Touchdown, Scarlet Knights. There was a hole there. You could have driven a truck through. Rice sniffs it out and gets into the end zone.
What was so special was the way the run was designed to go to the outside, but he saw the big hole that you talked about in the middle of the field and had the balance to cut back. This is a stretch play. He's supposed to go all the way to the far right, but once he sees the lane with his great vision, he has the ability and the balance to stay on his feet and cut back for the touchdown.
His 17th touchdown of the season. Coming into the game, ranked 4th nationally in rushing at 139 yards per game, averaging over 5 yards per carry. What a season for him, and Rutgers up 7-0 here after a touchdown on their opening drive. Ito with the point after. A good start for Greg Shiano and the Scarlet Knights. trying to bounce back from that disappointment last week at Cincinnati. Welcome to Rivalry Week, presented by Remington. At Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway, New Jersey. Rutgers taking the ball down in 8 plays, going 88 yards in just over 5 minutes and lead at 7-0. So look at that scoring drive, and Ray Rice with a 10-yard touchdown run to cap it off. And you were telling me off the air before this game started, if Syracuse is going to have any chance today, they've got to slow down that running game, much like Cincinnati did last week. And they weren't able to do it on that drive.
Yeah, what happened was Teal came out and had a big conversion on 2nd down to loosen up the linebackers by the line of scrimmage. So now they've got to deal with both the passing game and the running game of Rutgers.
There's Curtis Brinkley on the return. He's got it out over the 30-yard line, but again, a penalty flag comes in on the kick. 27-yard return. We'll see what this penalty flag is all about.
During the return, holding number 45 on the receiving team. 10-yard penalty for the spot of the foul. First down.
We've got a man down for Rutgers. Appears that it's Kitchen. It's Kitchen. He's down. And looks like he's favoring his left knee.
And that's a tough thing about it. I mean, you've got a dream season going. You've got a tremendous game coming up next week, and injuries like this late in the season can really make or break the season. I mean, the difference in 1 or 2 players, even in special teams.
Even if it is special teams.
I mean, special teams are so important, especially in big games. I mean, you talk about the bigger the game, the more special teams come into play, and all coaches want to be going in there on all cylinders.
Well, after that penalty, they are going to spot it at the 19-yard line. And we've got a break here, so let's check in the studio with Mike Gleason.
Clay, Clemson looking for their 5th straight win over South Carolina. After a red zone pick, Will Proctor takes over.
But Clemson goes right for the throat, going for the big shot over the top. Jacoby Ford, showing why he was a sprint champion 2 years ago. Turns on the Jets, goes the distance for the touchdown.
7-0 Tigers. Clay.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. That is the 104th meeting between those two teams, and the Tigers have won 8 of the last 9. So South Carolina trying to turn that trend around.
Yeah, a little interstate rivalry there, and I mean, no loss of blood there, especially when you got the old ball coach Steve Spurrier now calling the plays in South Carolina. Look for that rivalry to get just a little bit more intense, you think?
Kitchen is off. Doesn't look good for that left knee. Syracuse has it now, 1st down and 10. Brinkley dots the I. First possession for the Orange. Barry Patterson under center. 2 receivers lined up to the near side. They're going to go to Brinkley for the first carry of the game. Out over the 20 and slowed up quickly. Patterson, in the grand scheme of things, that win over UConn last week meant very little in the standings, and Patterson has probably won more important games, but that victory last week might be the most personally gratifying for him. He didn't want to go out in his senior year without a conference win, and now he won't.
And that's good. I mean, you're a senior. You don't want to go out saying you never beat a team in your conference. And the good thing for him, Coach Robinson said that NFL scouts, they like his size, they like his arm, so he's starting to get some looks, so he's playing to play on the next level.
2nd down and 6 after that 4-yard run for Brinkley. Brinkley again. Nice move out over the 30 into the secondary and pulled down at the 41. Quintero Frierson with the tackle. Well, even though DeLon Carter is the leading rusher for Syracuse, it's Brinkley who is the regular starter at running back, and you can see why. Tim Lane hasn't missed a start in 2 years. Up front, they've had some shuffling around, but the last 4 games it's looked like this, and Outen is the anchor in the middle. That 18-yard run for Curtis Brinkley has it 1st down and 10 at the 41 for the Orange. 3-receiver look. Patterson hops away from center. The left-handed quarterback now stepping up. Downfield, and it's out of play. Rutgers has been relentless when it comes to pressure on opposing quarterbacks. 35 sacks coming into the day. Meekins and Foster inside. They're not big, but they're mean. DeFron Thompson from right here in Piscataway playing in his final home game. He quarterbacks that defense. And in the secondary, Green and Gerald, probably, arguably, the two best safeties in the Big East. Second down at 10. Patterson pitches it back. And DeLon Carter with not a lot of room to operate on his first carry of the football game. He comes into the day just shy of 700 yards, which ranks second in school history for yards by a freshman. He's a guy we're going to have to keep an eye on today. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's going to grow, and he's only going to get better. So that's why the future's bright in terms of running the football at Syracuse. You know, you saw the ability right there to make the first guy miss, even if it's 5 yards in your own backfield. So they got to shore things up on the offensive line. But Carter's a home run hitter at the running back position.
Third down and 9 for the Orange. You can hear this crowd getting behind that Scarlet Knights D. That four-man front coming quick. Pocket collapses, thrown into the secondary and picked off. Picked off at the 40. Now he's at the 40 of Syracuse and pulled down at the 38. Courtney Green. And that is a guy who originally committed to Syracuse, but his buddy Ray Rice changed his mind, and he followed him to Rutgers. And after that pick, he's glad he did.
Yeah, he definitely followed the football here. Take a look at Patterson's eyes. You can't get a good look there, but you see he's just playing the free safety position, just roving around, following where the quarterback throws the ball. And Patterson gets a little bit of contact there as he throws the ball. Couldn't follow through, but, I mean, that's just a bad read. That guy was covered by two defenders there. So when you throw the ball and you make bad reads, bad things tend to happen to you as a quarterback.
So a glorious start here today for Rutgers. Jamal Westerman may have got part of his hand on that ball, or at least the arm of Patterson, and it's a 24-yard return after the pick for Courtney Green. First down and 10 at the 38 of Rutgers. Teal. Fake to throw out into the flat, has a man wide open. Caught. Touchdown. Kenny Britt, the true freshman out of Bayonne, New Jersey, with a 38-yard touchdown reception.
That was beautiful. They had so much misdirection going on. First, they start off with the fake screen to your left. Then they're going to fake the screen to the right, and they think it's a middle wide receiver screen. But then the tight end slips out there and gets wide open. Kenny Britt, the wide receiver, faking like he was downfield blocking, got by the defender for an easy score for the Scarlet Knights.
The true freshman, Kenny Britt, with his first career touchdown catch. Jeremy Ito. They call him the judge from OJ trial fame. And Ito with his second PAT, and it's a 14-0 lead for Rutgers. Wow, what a start for Teal and the Scarlet Knights. ESPNU College Football is presented by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And Remington Titanium Shavers. A statue here on the campus at Rutgers 137 years ago this month. The genesis of college football here at Rutgers. Rutgers defeating Princeton 6-4 in that first game. And there's a look at Teal. And we said he needed to respond. How would he respond? The question. Well, there you see, 3 for 3, 73 yards and a touch.
Yeah, been perfect so far. And the last touchdown was a gimme. He did a great job of moving the Syracuse defense and making them go where he wanted them to go so he could hit the deep bomb to Britt down the sideline. But if he can come out and have those type of numbers and keep his percentage up there as a quarterback, this team is going to be very difficult to beat.
Ito the kick. It's short. Taken at the 14, out over the 25-yard line by Jason Tanner. A 13-yard return for Tanner, and that's where the Orange will start. Well, what a start for Rutgers. Rice's 17th touchdown of the season, which moved him into sole possession of second place in the single-season rushing touchdown history of the school. And then a beautiful touchdown pass to Kenny Britt from Teal. And this team is looking unstoppable today.
They're responding well. I mean, I think when you have a dream season, you go undefeated. I think all coaches want to know, how will we respond to adversity? Last week they came out and played poorly. This week they're not showing any indications of holding on to last week's loss.
At to 26. Patterson away from center, hands off. Coming over the left side. Good run for Curtis Brinkley. He has started every game at running back for the Orange, and coming off a nice game in that win over Connecticut. He had 118 all-purpose yards and a career-high 2 touchdowns. Of course, we've seen it already today, primary return man, so he does a lot of that. Good running back as well.
Yeah, and that's what you have to have. I mean, that's the basis. When you got Greg Robinson coming in, you know he wants to have the ability to run the football and who their go-to guy is going to be. And the key to having a successful West Coast offense is a tight end and a running back that can do several things.
Second down at 6. Nice move by Brinkley. Look at that dance. Wow, a lot of shake on that run for Curtis Brinkley out over the 40-yard line.
He's got some step. Take a look at the linebacker, Brandon Raincart here, trying to tackle Brinkley one-on-one in the hole. Whoop! What a juke right there, a little slide step there. You know, the key to being a good running back is having the ability to make the first guy miss, and the key to being a great running back is having the ability to make the first guy miss in a small space to work with.
Already 36 yards. Spotted right at the 40. First down at 10 for the Orange. Right back to the ground. Brinkley, nice spin move there and a good pickup on first down. 8 yards. Let's go to Mike Gleason.
Play a wild start. South Carolina came back to answer Clemson. Blake Mitchell caps off a 12-play drive for the equalizer. And then
C.J. Spiller makes a move here in the hole, hits the turbo button, shows everyone why he was Florida's sprint champion last year. Jets all the way to the end zone for 6.
14-7 Clemson play.
All right, Mike, thank you very much.
We talked about the importance of special teams. You know, you score a touchdown, then you give it right back up. Special teams are key this time of year.
Brinkley again, straight up the middle, and he is going to be close to the first down. He needed to get to midfield. Looks like he's just shy. Quintero Frierson with the tackle. But Brinkley and Carter, we've seen them both here so far today, and the Orange are going to be good there for a while because Brinkley just a sophomore, DeLon Carter a true freshman. Gives you something to build around.
Yeah, and that's what you have to have. You know, the key is going to be you got a senior quarterback, and what I like about Brinkley and Carter, they're not just scat backs in space. I mean, you saw Brinkley just now hit it hard in the hole, and that's what a lot of times too many young running backs don't have the ability to hit it hard in the hole, but Brinkley has that ability to hit the hole hard.
They need a half-yard play action. Patterson's going to run it himself. He is stopped for a loss, but penalty flags come in. Well, Perry Patterson not afraid to run. That was a play by design, but there are flags down.
I think they may have a hooking call holding on the offensive line on the left side.
Illegal formation on the offense.
So it's against Syracuse. 4:05 to go here in the opening quarter. It's been a great start for Rutgers. We're at Rutgers Stadium, the final home game for the Scarlet Knights here in Piscataway. Alongside my partner Jay Walker, I'm Clay Matvick. And Christina Kynan also with us, writer from the New York Daily News. She'll be working the sidelines here today. Good crowd, over 44,000 in attendance for that Louisville game. We've got over 40,000 here again today. So Syracuse forced to punt. Brendan Carney standing at his own 35. Big East Special Teams Player of the Week. Low snap, gets it off. And this is going to be touched at the 11-yard line. I thought he actually had downed it, but apparently not. It rolls into the end zone, and it's going to be a touchback. The Scarlet Knights will start first down at 10 at the 20 when we come back. 14-0, 3:43 to play.
What is it you want, Barry? You want the moon?
All right, Mike, thank you very much. 3:43 to go here in the opening quarter. It's been a great start for Rutgers, the 15th-ranked team in the country, trying to rebound from that aforementioned loss to Cincinnati last week, and so far, so good. There's Greg Schiano, head coach of the Scarlet Knights, watching the seniors from his first recruiting class play their final game here today on first down. Maybe getting back to the line of scrimmage for Brinkley. Well, let's look at the scoring here, and Ray Rice getting it started from 10 yards out.
Yeah, you know, showing why he's a Heisman Trophy candidate with the great vision to hit the hole. And then you see Mike Teal get involved in the action, saying, hey, we can throw the football here at the State University of New Jersey, with a pretty touchdown completion to Kenny Britt to put the Scarlet Knights up to an early 14-0 advantage.
Second down and 10 after no gain on that run by Rice. High snap, hands off to Leonard. Leonard trying to cut the corner on that left side. He's going to pick up about 2 yards on that play. Joe Fields, the free safety, with the stop. Now, Larry Coker fired yesterday at Miami. Greg Schiano was the defensive coordinator for the Hurricanes for a couple of years. And the rumor is, at least if you talk to people that are Miami fans, that Schiano's coming down there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, how can you deny it? You've got 24 players on this Rutgers squad from Florida. He built a great relationship with a lot of those former UM players. And down in Miami, they're one of those schools where they like to keep everything in the family, and they consider Schiano part of their family.
Teal looking to throw. Nobody home. He was trying to hit Tyquan Underwood on that crossing route. And Rutgers is going to have to punt here. 24 players from the state of Florida on this roster. I mean, he knows that part of the country very well, and he tries to use it to his advantage anytime he can.
And I think if you're Miami, you got to say this is a guy that can recruit locally. And, you know, everybody knows the key to winning at one of those big schools in Florida is keeping the local players home. So if he can make them take a smaller commute, you got to think he would be successful down there. But, you know, I think you just got to let it all play out. A lot can happen between now and New Year's Day. And Schiano seems to be content coaching his Rutgers squad for now.
Joe Radigan the punt. Bruce Williams to bring it back out over the 30. Gets away from a tackler to the 35 and down at the 36-yard line. And now I'd like to introduce the third member of our broadcast team today. Christina Kynan is a writer from the New York Daily News. We're happy to have her here today. She's doing a day in the life of an ESPNU sideline reporter. So for the first time today, Christina, take it away.
Hi. It's certainly been a memorable year for Rutgers this year. Earlier this month, more than 44,000 fans watched as Rutgers toppled Louisville in a 28-25 victory. And last week, thousands of fans lined up to buy their tickets to watch today's game. And all 12 games will appear in some form of national television this season for Rutgers.
Including here on ESPNU, we're happy to say. Thank you very much, Christina. We'll be checking in with her throughout the day. Christina from the New York Daily News doing a story about what it's like to be an ESPNU sideline reporter. Patterson connects with his receiver at the 43-yard line, and he's taken down. Catch made there by Arthur Capolanga.
Well, back to Christina doing the sideline. You think a little later on during the telecast I can ask her to diagram a cover 2 and a cover 3? We got to catch her up on the P's and Q's with the X's and O's.
Oh, I think she knows football pretty well. Don't test her. Don't test her, because she's going to do a story on us.
Second down and 2.
Second down and 2. DeLon Carter, nice move, cutting back, but then pulled down short of the first down. It looked like after he cut back, he had found a seam, but it was snuffed out quickly.
Yeah, great tackle by Jason McCourty coming up, playing the cornerback position, filling in on the hole. And you know, one of the things we talked about during that last drive when it was 3rd and short, and Coach Robinson decided to run a bootleg rather than just run straight ahead. You see the same type of situation now. You got 3rd and short. Does he have the faith in his running game to have the ability to pick up 1 yard to keep the drive alive?
Now let's see how they do here on 3rd down and 1. Tried that bootleg last time and it didn't work out. High backfield, they go to Carter. And he's got enough for the first down and more out over midfield. DeLon Carter ranks 5th in the nation among true freshmen with an average of 62.5 yards per game. This guy has a bright future for the Orange. Coming off a big week against Connecticut, 115 yards on 16 carries. True freshman out of Copley, Ohio. And that's going to do it for the first quarter. Wow, what a start for Rutgers in that quarter. Ray Rice We expect to see him in the end zone, and he was. And Mike Teal bouncing back with a touchdown pass in quarter number 1. ESPNU College Football presented by Allstate. We're in Piscataway, New Jersey today, and Rutgers, the final home game of the season, looking good. There's Ray Rice on the sidelines right now. That orange offense is out there. Perry Patterson watch. Start of the second quarter here, and Patterson's going to keep it. Fake the pitch, fumble, turn it upfield. Ball comes loose, and who's got it?
That ball was on the ground for a long time.
Patterson, the ball carrier.
Well, turnovers have been a problem for Syracuse, and Rutgers has it. Courtney Green coming up with it. He's having a big day. Again, he originally committed to Syracuse, but then came to Rutgers.
Yeah, you know, this is a problem when you've got a big 6'4" quarterback trying to run the option. Towards the end of the run, good tackle. The defender just gets underneath the quarterback before he can go down, and ball lays on the turf. And one thing that Patterson has to do is put that ball in his other arm and at least put 2 hands around it once you cross the line of scrimmage. And Rutgers doing a good job of forcing the turnover and coming up with the fumble recovery.
Green with the hit. And Jason McCourty with the recovery. First down and 10 at the 45 for the Scarlet Knights. Here's Teal away from centers, looking to throw deep down the middle of the field, and it's incomplete. He was looking for Kenny Britt.
Teal wish he had that throw back. He had Britt open. The middle of the field was wide open. The free safety fell on a crossing route, and Britt was wide open. Had he been able to lead him, that could have been another 7 points for the Scarlet Knights. Take a look here. You'll see one crossing route that's going to take the free safety. He's going across, middle of the field, wide open, but he slows Britt down. Britt had to turn back for that football, allowing the defensive back to come in and make a play on the ball.
Joe Fields, pretty good coverage, had a career-best 2 picks in the win over UConn last week. And remember, Syracuse, a lot of picks this year, 17 on the season. Rutgers goes back to the ground game. A 3-yard pickup. It's going to bring up 3rd down and 7. Arthur Jones in on the tackle there, as he's able to bring Ray Rice down, and that's not easy to do. Although, again, Rice coming out that season low, 54 yards last week at Cincinnati. I think there are a lot of people wondering what the heck happened, but even though he only had 54 yards, he did become the all-time single-season rushing leader at Rutgers. And it's amazing because he's done it in less than 2 seasons.
Wow. And the future's bright. I mean, he's going to lead this school, quite possibly the all-time leading rusher if he keeps up this pace. It's going to be tough to keep him in school for 4 years.
Teal throws it out. Caught out around midfield by the tight end, Clark Harris. And he is one of the top receiving tight ends in the country. In fact, he has more career catches among active tight ends than anyone else in college football. But not enough for the first down, and Rutgers is going to have to kick.
And, you know, we talk about Clark Harris. You're talking about an NFL prototypical size-wise in terms of being a tight end. 6'6", 260 pounds, soft hands. Normally when you see tall, lanky tight ends like that, they don't have the hands. But Clark Harris has got great hands, and he's looking forward to playing on Sundays next season.
Joe Radigan, one of the best punters in Rutgers history, back to kick. And Bruce Williams to return. He's going to call for the fair catch. It's going to hop at the 12-yard line. And it's going to be spotted at the 19. 36-yard punt for Radigan. So we've got a timeout with 12:57 to go here in the first half. 14-0 Rutgers. Mike, Steve, thank you very much. All right, Florida thinking BCS, just 1 loss, as all these teams have just 1 loss. But I'll tell you what, it's rivalry week. And, you know, you're at Florida State. That's not an easy place to win.
No, it's a tough one. You know, that's good news for Chris Leak early throwing a touchdown pass, getting involved. Because, you know, down in Gainesville, they're calling for Tim Tebow to get a lot of PT anytime Leak does anything wrong. Right. So they need, I think they need, you know what they need in college football? They need another separation Saturday. You know, all these 1-loss teams haven't played each other and just keep going. And every time you see those 1-loss teams, everybody starts thinking, need a playoff. Need a playoff.
You know, you haven't heard that conversation as much this year as you might have as you thought I would. I thought I would.
Wait till some teams don't get that BCS invitation, then you'll hear it again.
After that 6-yard run by Brinkley. Brinkley trying to get to the outside, and he's pulled down. It's going to be a loss. A good job getting in Derek Roberson, the cornerback, shooting in. He's been slowed by a hamstring injury, but back in the lineup here today.
Look, that's 2 times we've seen this Rutgers defense have cornerbacks make big plays. Earlier was Jason McCourty, now it was Derek Roberson. And that's what you need. When you're going to play a cover 2 defense, your cornerbacks have to have the ability to stop the run from getting outside. And both cornerbacks have done a good job of containing the run.
Now there you see the Rutgers rush defense. 3rd down at 5. It's getting loud. Patterson gets away. And it looks like he's got enough for the 1st down. Perry Patterson tackled by Devron Thompson, but not after he gets the 1st down. I'll tell you what, Patterson has been sacked a lot this year, 44 times coming into play today. And a lot of that is to do with that shifting of that offensive line. He was able to do a Houdini act and get away there to pick up the 1st.
Yeah, when you think of Perry Patterson, the first thing that comes to your mind is not mobility, but he's able enough when given the opportunity to pick up the 1st down there. And that was great athleticism on Patterson's part.
1st down at the 30 for the Orange. Curtis Brinkley, long setback. He's going to get it. Brinkley trying to get to the outside here on the near side to the 30. Basically back to the original line of scrimmage. Good job by Ramel Meekins to make the tackle, considered one of the linchpins of that Rutgers defense.
Yeah, I mean, this is a great job of playing defensive end by Jamal Westerman, number 90 on the outside. See, not allowing the running back to get outside. See, when he takes that type of pursuit angle, keeping his inside shoulder, the ball carried to his inside shoulder, it's impossible for the running back to get outside. That's great team defense.
I alluded to the shuffling on that Syracuse offensive line. They basically settled on their 5 best linemen. They're hoping that it continues to pay dividends today. They got that win over UConn, now looking for an upset of Rutgers. There's a pass that should have been caught. LeVar Lobdell, the receiver, redshirt freshman out of Syracuse. And he had it and dropped it. It would have been enough for a 1st down.
Yeah, they needed that one there. Rutgers decided to bring a cornerback blitz, and the blitzing corner didn't have enough time to get to the quarterback. He couldn't get there in time. One-on-one coverage. If you're Liddell, you got to come up with that catch there. I mean, that's what you want. They've got a blitz called. You've got it picked up and protected. Quarterback delivers a perfectly thrown football, and you don't execute.
Well, Syracuse today on 3rd down, 2 for 4. Let's see what they can do here. Ball at the 30. Brinkley, the long setback. Patterson doesn't know what to do. Now throws. Did he get it? Incomplete. The pass low and incomplete, intended for Tim Lane, but there are penalty flags down as well. Been that kind of day for Syracuse thus far.
That kind of year. I think if you ask Coach Robinson, they just can't seem to get any type of rhythm. I mean, you got a quarterback that makes a great play.
Number 89 on the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Well, you got a quarterback that does a good job of buying time, keeps his eyes downfield, finds a wide receiver that's wide open, and a flag comes in. So it just seems the game of football works that way. When things don't go right, they just go downhill, and you can't even execute the simple things of the game.
So the Orange have to punt. It's going to be decent field position for Rutgers. Back deep to get it. Willie Foster. Had a big return in this football game that was wiped out by a penalty. Carney, a great snap, but gets it away. See what Foster can do. Well, he's going to call for the fair catch. He's got it at the 19, and that's where Rutgers has it. We get a timeout. Just over 10 minutes to go here before halftime. Rutgers 14, Syracuse nothing.
Denver faces off.
10:04 to go, 2nd quarter. Rutgers 14, Syracuse nothing. Mike Teal bringing that Scarlet Knights offense back out on the field. Here's a look at Ray Rice. Again, I mentioned becoming the all-time leading rusher at Rutgers. Less than 2 seasons. Did that last week despite the loss. Rice Rice and Leonard in the backfield. It's Rice. Straight ahead. Finds the seam and out over the 25-yard line. Pulled down at the 27. And Rice is another guy who committed to Syracuse. Coming out of New Rochelle High School in New York, Rice actually committed there. But when Paul Pasqualoni was fired, he changed his mind and came to Rutgers.
And everybody talks about coaching changes don't make a difference. Well, every now and then you decide you want to go in a different direction, and you had a kid that wanted to go in that direction. So Rutgers was definitely the beneficiary of Rice's decision, and I think the Scarlet Knight faithful are so thankful for Syracuse for making that slip up.
Second down and a short 2 to go. Pitch it back to Rice. He is very strong. He knows where he's going, and he hits the hole hard. This time he got to the outside, got the first down, but there is a penalty marker down. Jerry Mackey in on the tackle, the will linebacker for Syracuse.
And, you know, when you watch Rice, what I really like watching is the way he sets up his blockers. I mean, that's something that you just can't teach. He has the patience, but he also knows when to kick it into a second gear. He does a good job of settling in behind his blockers.
Now this is going to go against the Knights. Holding call. Rice, one of 3 finalists for the Maxwell Award with Brady Quinn and Troy Smith. That award goes to the Player of the Year. I know you think the Heisman Trophy's that award, but this is another award for Player of the Year, and he's in fine company with Quinn and Troy Smith.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are outstanding. Those are some of the elite players, and the thing about Rice, I mean, he's just a sophomore, and I think a lot of instances voters tend to think, well, we're going to see him for a couple of more years, and they don't give him the votes that he deserves.
Teal throws it into the flat, has it caught by Brian Leonard. And like you said, for most of the 5 years, Brian Leonard has been the guy here at Rutgers, but Ray Rice has taken the spotlight away a little bit, well, actually quite a bit, but he's embraced that. He has taken Ray Rice right under his wing, and that's a good senior for you.
Yes, and winning does that. Winning makes that transition easier, and I think what Leonard's realizing is he's becoming more attractive to the NFL. Anytime you can be the fullback and be the lead blocker for a 1,000-yard rusher, that shows that you can block, and we know he's got great hands out of the backfield, so he's becoming an all-around better football player.
On 3rd down and 2, they throw it out to Leonard. Hit initially and spins away.
Pass complete to Leonard.
I think he's still going to be short of the first down. Jerry Mackey, a good job on that tackle. Mackey broke his hand in that Miami game in week 4 and tried to play one-handed for a couple weeks. Wasn't working out. Sat out the West Virginia and Louisville games and is finally back for the Orange and makes a good stop there. Rutgers is forced to punt, and Syracuse now has slowed this Rutgers momentum down, and they're ready to get good field position.
And now it's just a matter of can the offense match the defensive intensity. So the offense has to kick it in. It looks like they're going to get the football back with pretty good field position. They've got to make the most of the opportunity.
Radigan, a high booming punt. Fair catch called for, and it's going to be 1st down and 10 at the 21. 7:17 to play before half. 14-0 Scarlet Knights.
Morgantown, even when you're home, you're favored, you can't do this, Is.
You know, it's something we don't see often by this star-studded quarterback, Pat White. Stripped. George Selvey scoops it up. Early Christmas gift. Touchdown.
South Florida on top, 7-6, Clay.
All right, we'll keep an eye on that one. West Virginia can ill afford an upset at this point in the season. Of course, we told you at the top of the broadcast, a 3-way tie. We've got a new quarterback in for Syracuse, Andrew Robinson with the handoff. And he gives it off to DeLon Carter. So for some reason, Perry Patterson, the senior quarterback for Syracuse, is on the sideline, and Andrew Robinson, the freshman out of Baltimore, who has appeared in just 4 games before today, is in a quarterback.
We heard the Q staff say that they were trying to infuse some of the younger players, get them ready for next season, but wow, they really meant it. I mean, they're getting him in the game early and trying to see how he can handle live bullets in game time situations.
No gain on that run, 2nd down and 10. 3 receivers set. Robinson to throw for the first time. A little pressure. Got it out to his tight end, Brandon Darlington. And Darlington started upfield without the football.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. If you don't have a supporting cast around you, your statistics are going to look bad. Darlington has to make that catch. I mean, you've got a young quarterback in there. And one thing about younger quarterbacks, they really rely upon the seniors and the veterans to do their job. And Darlington just dropped that ball.
Well, Darlington is not the pass-catching tight end for the Orange. It's Tom Farron. We haven't seen much of him today. But they do use a lot of tight ends in this West Coast offense, especially Farron. There, Darlington dropped the pass. On third down today, Syracuse 2 for 5. Carter the lone setback. Looking to throw Robinson, and they're going to blow this play dead. Wow, they throw Robinson down anyway. But there were whistles long before Meekins got to Robinson. I'm surprised there aren't penalty flags.
Yeah, there should be a penalty flag there. If you're going to protect the quarterback with a touch to the helmet, you got to protect him there.
Timeout.
Timeout was called by Syracuse, one of the wide receivers in the slot.
Now, that could have been a bad scene had Robinson gotten hurt on that play.
As you'll see here, he's back in the pocket. He's basically unprotected in the pocket, and you've got to have some form of protection there. And this play is blown dead, and right now everybody's stopping. He's like, okay, what's going on? He gives up, and look at the slam. I mean, the slam there. Oh, that should have been a flag. I mean, that's a personal foul if I've ever seen one.
There's Patterson with his helmet off. Not a good sign. 1 for 6, 8 yards and a pick. So a poor start for Perry Patterson in one of his final game, I guess, for the Syracuse Orange. You'd think that come out with a little bit better effort, but so far not the case. Let's take a look at Rutgers. Early on, Patterson throws the pick. That was Courtney Green. That set up a touchdown, and then the fumble. Patterson coughing it up, and it was recovered by Jason McCourty. Actually, Courtney Green caused that fumble, too.
One of the things about playing quarterback at Syracuse, for decades, it's been all about the quarterback. I mean, they rely so heavily on their quarterback, whether you're talking about Don McPherson, Donovan McNabb, Marvin Graves, Kevin Mason, those guys. The quarterback has always been the critical position, either running the football and throwing the football, and they rely so heavily on their quarterback that when things don't go well, then you've got to make a change. And I think that's what's happened to Patterson here. They realized they were down 14-0 early and decided, hey, let's go to another quarterback that's going to give us a better chance of success, as well as get him ready for next season if he's going to be the starting quarterback in the 2007 season.
Seen a few teams do that this year. Illinois comes to mind. They've given Juice Williams a lot of latitude there. And Tim Brasic was the starting quarterback to start the season. There's a look at Meekins. He just loves getting the quarterbacks, as you can see. Tied for the team lead with 6 sacks. So Robinson, the freshman, looking at that 4-man front. Robinson under pressure and down. Down at the 17-yard line. Devin McCourty, the redshirt freshman, and the identical twin of Jason McCourty gets to the quarterback. Also Foster in there to rough him up.
That's one of those instances where Robinson not having enough game experience, not having that clock ticking in his head when you got to leave the pocket, when you have to get rid of it. You see the indecision here. He realized he's got pressure. Step up and either get out of there. You just can't step up and look around, and he was looking around thinking he had all day in the pocket. You don't have that when you're playing Division I college football, son.
Willie Foster back at the 39-yard line of Rutgers to get this Brendan Carney kick. High snap. The snaps have been high and wide to Carney so far today. And it's a short kick because of it. And now it's going to take a Rutgers roll to the 49-yard line. So the Scarlet Knights have great field position again. Just a 34-yard kick for Brendan Carney, whose average is 42 yards this year. There's been some problems with the snap back to him from Ian Hammond. All right, the Big East standings. Louisville, Rutgers, West Virginia, all 4-1 in conference play, 9-1 overall, with 2 weeks to go in the season.
If West Virginia doesn't get their act together against South Florida now, I mean, we can continue the shuffle. Does anybody want to go to the BCS from this conference? It's like they're taking turns. Who's going to lose this week? Who's going to lose this week? But what a phenomenal season it's been in 2006, college football in general, and the Big East is no exception.
5:21 to play first half. We're having a little problem with our clock on the screen. We apologize. 5:20 to go on that running play out over midfield. And it's Ray Rice. It's going to be a short pickup. Give him a yard.
Both teams are committed to stopping the run. I mean, they're saying as a quarterback, you've got to love this. You want to rise up to the challenge. You've got two defenses that are saying, we're not going to let you run the football. If you're going to throw the football, okay, we'll take our chances there. But as you take a look, when they break the huddle, Syracuse has 8 men close to the line of scrimmage, and they're not budging. It doesn't matter if you put in 4 wide receivers or 3 wide receivers. They're keeping that line of scrimmage crowded.
Tight one, Underwood split wide right. Rice in the backfield, play action to him. They come underneath to Leonard. Jumps over the top of the defender, and I'm surprised there's not a penalty flag on that. Ben Maljevic almost took one in the chops from Leonard. He tried to hurdle him.
I mean, this
I've
looks
never
like
seen
Bruce
anything
Lee.
like this.
I haven't seen a guy go this high and get the foot in the chest. Look at the hops. And you know the thing about it? He almost made it.
He almost made it over the top of him, but I'm almost surprised there's not a penalty flag for that.
Yeah, I mean, and he was standing there. It's not like Maljevic went down, went low, and, you know, Ben Maljevic goes 6'3". So it's not like we're talking a 5'8" linebacker there. And Leonard tried to hurdle him.
And he got the first down. And this crowd erupted.
The legend of Brian Leonard continues to grow here on the Rutgers campus.
And he's got it here in a good pickup on first down, about 5 yards. And I'll tell you what, this senior is going out in style here at Rutgers.
I'm impressed. I mean, when you talk about, I had to look and see how tall Maljevic was on the depth chart. When they listed him at 6'3", that lets you know Leonard really was getting up there. That's just the will. I mean, you know, that's that part that's inside, deep down inside of you. If you're a football player, you do whatever it takes to keep your body going forward. And Brian Leonard has that it in terms of that forward lean all the time.
Leonard, you see 4 carries already today, and you see why the NFL is take a good look at him. Here's Rice trying to get to the outside. Nice job stringing him out, and it's going to be a loss on the play. Leading the pursuit, Brandon Gilbo. Coming out for senior day earlier today, Brian Leonard. An emotional moment. This will be a good game. 5th-year senior, governor out of New York, or out of governor New York. Maybe he could run for the governor.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
Maybe New Jersey. You know, down here in Jersey where the school's located. But he definitely got the loudest applause out of all the seniors that were appreciated. These Rutgers fans, I mean, they really showed their appreciation to the seniors on senior day. Leonard was a king amongst kings.
4 receiver set. Teal coming. Here's receiver Kenny Britt. And it's short of the first down, and Britt slow to get up.
Jackson with the stop.
That's when you question why Teal goes there with the football. Rutgers had 4 wide receivers on the left side trying to spread out the Syracuse defense, but he threw it to one of the interior receivers. You've got one-on-one coverage on the outside, and Teal decided to go with a slide and basically led Britt into a headache.
4th down and 1 coming up. And we got an official's timeout down on the field. It looks like Rutgers had made up their mind that they were going to go for it. The officials have called their own timeout for a measurement here. But just by looking at it, it appears they're about a half yard short.
And I think what Coach Schiano wants to do is he's tired of playing with Syracuse. I mean, he realized his team should have more points, and they've slowed down offensively. He wants to get this game over with as soon as possible and try and go into the halftime with a 3-score lead rather than just settling for a 2-score lead.
Schiano, in case you just joined us, has done miraculous things with this Rutgers football program, and Miami, which just happens to be looking for a football coach again.
It just happens to be.
Has a lot of interest in maybe this guy. Of course, a 2-year defensive coordinator down there.
I think the key is that buyout clause is not anything that's going to scare any program away. You know, $250,000 to buy a young coach out of his contract. I don't know if that's going to be enough to keep the job done.
Leonard and Rice in the backfield. They go to Rice, and he's got enough for the first down. Rutgers, in its first 2 possessions, scored touchdowns, and you mentioned it. I think Schiano is tired of playing with the orange here today. Let's try to widen the gap here. The last 3 possessions, they've gone 3 and out.
Yeah, they settled down, but at the same sense, I mean, Shiano is no dummy. He realizes his defense is pitching a shutout too. Syracuse hasn't shown any signs that they're going to be able to go 70 yards down the field and score. So now it's just a matter of can Rutgers punch the ball into the end zone.
First down and 10 at the 28. Teal away from center. 7-step drop. Cox is on. Fires over the middle of the field. Touchdown! Kenny Britt. His second touchdown of the day, and Teal now 9 for 11 passing, over 100 yards already. That a 28-yard touchdown strike.
And I wonder if Syracuse has figured out that Kenny Britt is fast. I mean, he's been running away from Taynard Jackson on several occasions. Earlier, the ball was underthrown on the same similar route, but this time Teal throws a strike and hits Britt in stride for an easy touchdown completion, and Britt made that look easy. He blew by Taynard Jackson, the best cover man for the Syracuse Orangemen.
Ito on for the extra point. And Jay, we told you about Kenny Britt being one of the young stars on this team, and there are people in the Rutgers football department who believe he could be the best Rutgers wide receiver ever before he leaves here. This is the most athletic group of receivers that Shiano has had since coming to Rutgers, and he is the one out in front of that group.
He's got everything you look for in a wide receiver. I mean, when you get, normally he's a big guy, 6'4", 205 pounds, but he's got the speed. You know, we're talking about a burner. Look at the separation. As a quarterback, you want somebody that can separate. And look, he's 5 yards ahead of the defensive back. With that type of combination and those physical tools that he has, it's easy to see why they think he could be the greatest ever to put on a Scarlet Knight uniform.
And I'm impressed with Mike Teal today. Coming into the game, a 52% completion rate. That's down. That's not where you want to be. But look what he's done.
And this is what they want to see week in and week out from Teal. That's what you have to have. When you've got a great running back, it should make the passing game so much easier. And if he can come out and he doesn't have to go 90% like he's doing now, but if he can pass at a 65 to 70% clip, how do you defend this offense? And I think Teal's come back and he's responded well. And I think that Ray Rice has responded well. And I think the R in Rutgers stands for responding after the loss of last week. And they're showing some great indications of their mental toughness on this football team.
Well, one thing about Teal, Jay, is even though his numbers aren't real flashy, he does win. He's 11-2 coming into this game as the starting quarterback. And Brinkley on the return, out about the 20-yard line. Let's go to Mike Gleason for a SportsCenter U in-game update.
Clay, the Virginia Cavaliers can become bowl eligible with a victory, but you don't want to turn it over in Blacksburg. They do, and George Bell makes them pay. Pounds it in for the score. Hokies on top, 7-0, Clay.
All right, thank you very much. 7-0, Virginia Tech on top. Larry Coker fired at Miami. Butch Davis, the new head coach at North Carolina. And Greg Schiano, he's in the rumor mill. Is he going to Miami? We'll have to wait and see. Nice catch over the middle by Paul Chiara. And Perry Patterson is back in the football game. So that experiment lasted one series, Jay.
I think, they may want to get a quarterback into a more experience and running the 2-minute offense. So we may see Robinson again in this football contest.
Patterson sacked. And boy, that has been common for the Orange this year again. 44 sacks given up coming into the game today. George Johnson gets to him here. And, of course, 35 sacks for Rutgers, which was second in the NCAA coming into play here this afternoon. So a team that gives up a lot of sacks and a team that loves to pressure the quarterback.
Yeah, and I like Rutgers because if you look across their front seven, the 4 linemen and the starting 3 linebackers, each of them have at least 2 sacks. You've got 2 sacks, 4 sacks, 3.5 sacks, 5 sacks. So they can hit you from a number of different angles, and that's the key. And that last sack was very impressive because Syracuse had 7 people in the block, and Rutgers didn't bring a blitz. They got there with 4-man rush.
Coming up the half on SportsCenter U with Mike Gleason and Steve Israel. West Virginia, could they be bowled over today? And rivalry week highlights coming up, and a preview of Notre Dame USC coming up later tonight. And USC certainly would do themselves a lot of favors to get into the national championship game by beating Notre Dame, but of course they've got 2 tough games coming up.
They do. You know, we talked a little bit earlier, and I think that although if USC gets by Notre Dame, this is one of those years where UCLA's just waiting. You know, that's their longtime rival, and UCLA would love to do nothing more than bust up the whole BCS by beating their crosstown rival. So SC's got a lot of football remaining on their schedule. 32
seconds to go before half. Patterson back in the football game. Movement on the right side of the Syracuse line. It appeared to be Marvin McCall getting an early start.
Now, I think he was drawn offside. I think he was forced to move. That was the one where the end for Rutgers, Eric Foster, forced the left tackle to move.
False start, number 67.
Shows you what I know.
5-yard penalty, remains 3rd down.
McCall is 6'2", 292-pound junior out of St. Augustine, Florida. And again, this is the 4th straight game that offensive line is the same. And as we saw last week, that gave some stability to the offense for Syracuse, and Patterson had a good game. But today, it's not going so well.
No, they haven't protected their quarterback well at all. And it looks like the offensive line shuffle at Syracuse will continue well into the offseason.
Over right tackle, it's Paul Chiara. They like to send that guy in motion, but there they lined him up in the backfield and ran it right at the line. It's going to be a short gain, well short of the 1st down. And Syracuse is going to have to punt here with 26 seconds to go before the half.
Man, I think, you know, the timeout on the field being called by Rutgers is more so to see if they can get a big return. You know, they've got one of the best return men in the conference, and they want to see if Foster can possibly break one, because you don't think they can go all the way down the field with just 26 seconds.
For more on Perry Patterson, let's go to Christina Kynan.
Perry Patterson earned his tough edge watching his mom raise 3 kids on her own and working 7 days a week as a nurse. Regardless of her difficult schedule, Patterson's mom always made time to attend each and every one of Patterson's home and away games. Patterson has said of his mother, "She's my role model. You never hear her complaining. She just goes to work. She's instilled that in me."
Thank you, Christina. Appreciate it. Yeah, Patterson is a tough guy. He's overcome a lot. He really rededicated himself to college football this offseason, shed 25 pounds. And
I'm sure his mom had something to do with that, too.
You
know, working on that diet, you know, allowing them to eat, you know, 1 hamburger instead of 2. And, you know, it shows a dedication. I think there's so many athletes out there where the mothers, you know, they don't get the credit they deserve. Everybody always thanks their father in terms of get the genes from them. But the mothers, I really believe, instill the mental toughness in terms of dealing with athletes.
Christina Kynan, writer for the New York Daily News. A story on a day in the life of an ESPN News sideline reporter. We'll be checking in with her throughout the game. Syracuse to punt here just before half. And Carney does a nice job to get it away. And wow, look at that Syracuse roll. Inside the 20. That's going to be spotted at the 17, so a long field here for Rutgers. So that's a good break for Syracuse with 16 seconds remaining in the half.
Yeah, they needed that, because had Foster been able to get any type of return and gotten that ball to midfield, they would have tried to put some more points on the board. But I think once you're pinned back this far, pretty sure Coach Schiano's going to be content going into halftime with a 21-0 lead.
And he is. A 57-yard punt for Carney, and that's going to be the last play of the first half, and a good one for Rutgers. Coming off that very disappointing loss to Cincinnati last week, but they lead 21-0 at the break. Our score at the half, 21-0. Let's go to Mike Gleason and Steve Israel with SportsCenter U.
All right, thanks a lot, Clay. Clay and Jay talking about Mike Teal after that touchdown strike. I looked up his numbers, 10 touchdowns in his career now, 23 picks. It's amazing that Rutgers has had the success they had when the quarterback is at 10-23 ratio.
Yeah, you know, everyone knows that the strength of this Rutgers offense is the running game behind Ray Rice. But today, Mike Teal is making that a lot different. He's 9 for 11 right now, over 120 yards, 2 touchdowns. We haven't seen Mike Teal have a half like this all year. So if they can continue to throw the ball like they're throwing it, with their defense playing good, you know, the sky's the limit for this team.
So a victory for Rutgers. It's their 10th. Of course, the big news in college football yesterday, Larry Coker's fired. Big news today, or at least the spotlight swings over to Greg Schiano. He's their #1 on the list, the wish list for Miami. Does he go? Does he stay? You mentioned money in the pregame show. Well, basically, here's where it's at right now. Schiano is in the first year of a 7-year deal that is worth $875,000 this season. The buyout now is only $250,000, so I guess if you're going to go, now's the time to go. But the bottom line is he did a great job at Rutgers, but probably an easier job sustaining that kind of success at Miami.
I can't think of a better candidate for this Miami Hurricane job than Greg Schiano. Reason why: he was the defensive coordinator there in '99 and 2000, did an awesome job. More importantly than that, he's a younger guy. He has passion, he has the zeal for the game, he knows how to recruit this area very well. He has over 20 players on his current Rutgers roster from the state of Florida. So in saying all that, this would be a dream come true job for him, and I feel as though it's not turning a program around. This is the Hurricanes. He'll go from 6-6, where they currently are right now, to contending in the BCS for national title next year. You got to be kidding me. With the job he's done for Rutgers, this would be a no-brainer, easy job for him to go to Miami.
Well, as I said a second ago, it's 21-0 if they win it. It's their 10th win of the season, and the Big East is having quite the finish as their 3-school race heads down the stretch. West Virginia, part of that equation, of course, taking on the Bulls of South Florida. They should be running with the Bulls, but are they running with the Bulls? Darius Renaud picks up 57 here, and this West Virginia team averages about 330 on the ground, but the Bulls are 39th against the run, doing a pretty good job. Here's Slayton's stop for no gain. And then Slayton, a 6-yard loss on the play. And I'd like to know how many times this year is he that he's lost 6 on a play.
You know, if you want to stop speed, you need all 11 players to run to the ball. And that's what they're doing here. As you see the strip, and George Selby runs it in for the touchdown.
All right, and then freshman quarterback Matt Grothe. It's amazing. He takes it in on the keeper, caps off a 10-play, 66-yard drive with 30 seconds to go in the half. And you talk about freshman quarterback in that league at the time, Michael Vick, Donovan McNabb. Matt Grothe probably flying under the radar, but if you check his numbers, very comparable to Vick and Donovan McNabb when they were freshmen in the Big East Conference. 14-6 South Florida right now.
And that's part of the reason why South Florida is having the year that they're having at 7-4.
Slayton, 10 carries, just 26 yards. Cincinnati can climb over 500 Big East play.
Best-selling author, successful business owner, star chef, and make cool friends.
It all starts at Rutgers, New Jersey State University.
From the classics to the cutting edge, wherever life takes you, Rutgers is your foundation for success.
This is better than what you cooked in college. See what Rutgers does for you?
Rutgers, the State University of New Jersey. Teaching, exploring, leading with a passion.
Quarterback Mike Teal has one of his 2 first-half touchdown passes to Kenny Britt. Rutgers, 30 minutes from a 10-victory season. Second half is coming fast.
In the birthplace of college football, the Rutgers Scarlet Knights trying to rebound from the worst loss of the season and their only loss. They got behind their star running back early. A tough day for Perry Patterson, but not for Mike Teal. As Greg Schiano, rumored to be going elsewhere, looks on, Teal with a great first half. And Patterson pulled by his coach, Greg Robinson. Second half coming up in moments. Kenny Britt, the youngster for Rutgers, with a good first half. It's 21-0. The Scarlet Knights on top here at the half. And with Jay Walker on Clay Matvick, one thing we know about a West Coast offense, it's a passing offense, and you need to complete a lot of high percentage passes. And Syracuse was not able to do that in the first half.
That's been their struggle. See, if you have a high completion percentage on first and second down, it gives you attainable third down, 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. But for Syracuse, because they haven't been able to complete the ball on first and second down, this offense has been going nowhere.
All right, let's take a look at our first half stats presented by Remington. And you can see the rushing yards almost even. But the passing yards, that's where Syracuse has been very deficient. And in a West Coast offense, that's where their bread and butter is.
Yeah, you use the pass to set up the run. You kind of want to surprise people with the run when you're talking about a West Coast offense. Very impressed with Rutgers' passing game, though. They've done a lot of misdirection, some great play-action passing, and Mike Teal's come out on fire. He's been extremely accurate in this game.
Mike Teal in that first half, 9 for 11. No interceptions, and that's probably the key stat. 123 yards and 2 touchdowns. Remember last week in that loss in Cincinnati, picked off 4 times.
And I think that's what people miss. I mean, he hasn't thrown an interception, and more importantly, he hasn't come close to throwing an interception. He's been going the right place with the football every time he's dropped back to pass. His learning curve is continuing, and people forget, although he's had so much success with all the victories, he's just a sophomore, so his football IQ is going to improve as he sees more and more looks on the football field.
Meanwhile, Jay, for Syracuse in that first half, they had 6 possessions, 4 punts, 1 fumble, and 1 interception. And Perry Patterson actually pulled for 1 series by Greg Robinson, but then put back in there.
They never threatened the Rutgers defense. They were always getting attacked rather than attacking the defense. And Rutgers has had one of those opportunistic defenses that likes to swarm to the football. And if you play conservative against this type of defense, you're not going to move the ball. And Syracuse didn't pose a threat to Rutgers defense at all in the first half.
The Orange are going to start with the football here in the second half. Good return out to the 20-yard line. A 17-yard return for Jason Tanner, and you can see the numbers on Patterson. Just 2 completions, 14 yards and a pick.
You know, I see numbers like that, I always go back and say, Mom always said there'd be days like this. If you're Perry Patterson, though, you got to think you've got a whole half of football. You've got your last half of football as a collegiate quarterback. Go out there, assume the leadership role, and make things happen for the Orange.
Ranks 4th in the Big East with 165 yards passing per game. A long way to go to get to that. Just 14 in that first half. Patterson will throw on first down. Comes underneath. Has a receiver. It's Rice Moss. Wow, was he quiet in the first half. And Moss is a guy that the coaches call their most consistent wideout, yet they weren't able to get him involved.
Yeah, I don't even know if they threw the ball in his direction. So they've got to find creative ways to get him the football and see if he can make some things happen with some run after the catch yards.
Tim Lane comes up. And Moss stays in there. He's lined up to the near side. Brinkley is the lone setback. Second down and 3. They go to Brinkley. Nowhere to go. He was trying to go between guard and tackle on the right side. And the defensive tackle, Eric Foster, steps up. And like Meekins, he's considered a little undersized, but you'd never know it by the way he throws his weight around.
Yeah, he's got a motor. You know, and what you look for in an interior lineman, that engine. Doesn't matter what your size is. The fact is he never gives up on a play. He's constantly moving.
He's 6'2", 260, but he plays a lot bigger than that. He's one of those guys that Schiano got out of Florida. And that's one of the reasons he's rumored now to be leaving for Miami now that Coker's been fired. But we'll have to wait and see if that even comes to happen. Second down and 7. Or excuse me, on third down. Pass is incomplete. It was 3rd and 3, and Patterson again can't complete a crucial pass. And Westerman, 6 sacks, which is tied for the team lead, was close to bringing Patterson down on that play.
They're trying to set up a wide receiver screen, but nobody on the Rutgers defense was fooled. Derek Roberson, the cornerback, coming in there, playing man-to-man coverage, staying with the wide receiver to break up the screen attempt by Syracuse.
Brendan Carney to punt. So the first series for Syracuse, 3 and out. Another low snap. Carney is able to get it away. Bounces at the 50 and takes a roll to the 48-yard line of Syracuse. Just a 21-yard punt. But that's not Carney's fault. The snap from Ian Hammond was low. And the snaps have been bad all day to Carney.
They have. They've been wide left, wide right, and low in that case there. But you got to think that Carney does a good job of just getting his hands on that football and getting it off. Had Rutgers been going for a punt block rather than a punt return, they would have gotten to that punt easily.
Ray Rice, his numbers in the first half, relatively quiet. He had 54 yards last week, 46 in the first half, but he did have a touchdown. Sam Johnson in at tight end, goes in motion. They're going to go to Rice. Make it to the outside. Nice cut back over the 40-yard line down at the 38. Joe Fields, the free safety. Third leading tackler on that Syracuse team, stepping up to make the tackle, but it's a big gain of 9 yards on first down.
Did you see the vision that Ray Rice had? I mean, that's several times in this football game where the play has been designed to be a stretch run to the outside, but he's got that uncanny knack of knowing when to cut back. You know, the flip side of that is if you cut back and you don't gain any yardage, your coordinator asks you, what are you doing? Well, the play is designed to go outside, but every time he's cut back against the grain, he's picked up positive yardage.
Rice now 11 carries, 55 yards. Second down and 1. Quan Underwood lined up to the near side. They're going to go to Brian Leonard. The big bruising fullback battles his way inside the 35-yard line. Down to the 33, Jameel McClain, the defensive end, finally able to wrestle him down. But Leonard is just a tough guy to bring down. We saw it in that first half when he actually tried to hurdle a guy, and he almost did it, a 6'3", linebacker.
Yeah, I mean, he's an athlete. You know, he's got great balance, and, you know, I'm sold on him. He's got that ability to spin and keep his balance, which you normally don't have fullbacks that have that type of agility on their feet. But he's, on several occasions, he's made the first and second guy miss. And what I really like about him, he's starting to remind me of Mike Allstott. I remember when Mike Allstott was at Purdue, he was very similar in that one. You knew he was going to end up playing fullback, but guys just bounced off of him. They could never bring him down in a one-on-one tackling situation.
We've got a man down for Syracuse. It's Davis. Let's go down to Christina Kynan.
Well, Brian Leonard was the man at Rutgers for his first 5 years, but now he's sharing the spotlight with sophomore running back Ray Rice. Regardless, both insist there's no jealousy. Quote, "It is such a good relationship that we have," Rice has said. "We don't argue about carries. He is like my big brother, my role model. Hopefully I'll get to where he is at." Leonard has said, "Hey, the better Ray does, the better I look."
Thank you, Christina. Again, Christina Kynan, a writer for the New York Daily News, and she's our sideline reporter today. She's doing a story about a day in the life of an ESPNU sideline journalist. So we appreciate Christina being here today. Dwayne Davis is off the field now. It looks like he's going to be okay. Second-year starter at strong safety, and he's going to be coming back next year for head coach and defensive coordinator Greg Robinson. The Bronx, New York. Ray Rice back in at tailback. On first down and 10. They're going to go to Rice. Boy, he got through that hole in a hurry. Gets out over the 30, down at the 27-yard line. A little stutter step, very patient, and then shoots right through.
Yeah, when you've got a team that's crowded the line of scrimmage, when you make up your mind to accelerate, you've got to get through there quick and in a hurry. Look at the patience, and then he saw that little piece of daylight, and he got there in a hurry, and that's what's so special about him. And Syracuse had 8 men on the line of scrimmage, yet Rutgers was still able to run the ball and pick up 5 yards in the process.
Ray Rice has 7 100-yard games this season, 3 200-yard performances. We give to Leonard. Nice job there by the defense to string him out a little bit and shut down that running lane. Jerry Mackey, the Will linebacker, making the tackle, the senior out of Freeport, New York. And we've got 2nd and 4 coming up.
You know, we talk about Ray Rice gets all the accolades, and so does Brian Leonard, but this offensive line for Rutgers has done a pretty good job. They're built more along the lines of the Denver Broncos offensive line. They've only got one player that's over 300 pounds, and that's the big left guard who weighs 322 pounds. But across the board, they're 295, 280. They're very quick, and they run that stretch play on offense very efficiently.
3rd and 4. 10-12 to go here in the third quarter. Leonard again. Wow, is he powerful. He passed on the NFL draft to return for his senior season. No question he is going to get his chance to play in the NFL someday. Picks up the first down on that play. For most of his 5 years at Rutgers, like Christina was telling us, he was the go-to guy here. He's had to share the spotlight, but he has been so good about that.
When we talk about share the spotlight, I mean, he was on the cover of the media guide. Yeah. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. You probably had to turn the page 115 before you found Ray Rice, but he's accepted the role, and I think it's made him a better football player because of the emergence of Ray Rice.
This time they go to Rice. Bounces out to the near side and into the secondary. Pulled down at the 11 by Terrell Lemon. Lemon was the only guy standing between him and the corner of the end zone.
That's what I mean by he has the ability to know when to slide all the way down the line of scrimmage. I mean, as you take a look at this one, he's going to start off up the middle, and he's going to look for one hole, look for another hole, then get outside, go to speed. And I like this pack that he's starting to act the physicalness at the end of the run, not letting one tackler take him down. He's starting to deliver the blow rather than just getting hit.
Rice inside the 10. And he's got enough for the first down. First down and goal to go. And how about Brian Leonard, his teammate in the backfield? Quite an athlete. He can catch, the team's leading receiver. He can run and even jump, as you can see.
And he can spin.
And he can spin. And he's bruising inside. Brian Leonard, the fifth-year senior out of Governor, New York. Such a big part, a crucial part of this offense. If it's not for him, I don't think Ray Rice is as good as he is because of everything he does on and off the field to help Rice. And speaking of Rice, bouncing it out to the right side, cuts it back in, close to the goal line. Somebody's helmet popped off.
I think that was Ray Rice's helmet that popped off, but what a cut he made there.
Getting a standing ovation down in that end of the stadium. And he's going to come off.
You know, that's a special running back you're looking at. Ray Rice, 5'9", 195-pound sophomore. And I think the Rutgers faithful realize what a special back he is.
Rice with 73 yards in this game. Second down and 2. Leonard is in there. They go to the tailback. Touchdown, Rutgers. Brian Leonard lined up as the tailback on that play and makes the cannons go off again.
And he made every fan in this stadium delighted. They were hoping that he would get a touchdown on senior day. Well, their hopes have been answered as Brian Leonard punches it in for Rutgers.
Just his third rushing touchdown of the year.
It's moments like this that make college football so special. When you've got the senior day, the seniors get the accolades and from where they've taken this program, and it's just a special moment inside this stadium right now in the love that they have for their Rutgers football team.
Ito on for another extra point. And it's true, 28-0. 9 plays, all on the ground, and 48 yards. They get it into the end zone again, this time Brian Leonard.
What can you get for a buck?
Can't get gas for a buck.
Can't get a loaf of bread for a buck.
You can't even get a cup of coffee for a buck.
But you can get $1 Million abs for a buck.
Because now $1 lets you try the Ab Lounge XL system.
Discover the secret to $1 Million abs for just a buck.
With over 4 million sold, Ab Lounge is the new gold standard in abdominal exercise.
And now the Ab Lounge XL $1 Million abs are just a buck away.
This deal is absolutely insane because now you can try the complete Ab Lounge XL system for a full 30 days with free shipping and handling on delivery.
Not for the usual $14.95, but for just $1.
Back-breaking crunches are obsolete.
Ab Lounge XL's jackknife motion gets you up off the floor, stretching beyond 180 degrees for ultimate results.
Every move counts as you target your abs without wasted effort.
Our $1 deal is absolutely real, and so are these $1 Million results.
The results indicate that you're going to get a tremendous abdominal workout, both for the upper and lower abs as well as the obliques using the Ab Lounge.
When people ask me if the Ab Lounge works, I tell them it's amazing. It got rid of my pot belly. If it can do that, it can do anything.
Ab Lounge XL is built with a rolled steel frame, features breathable mesh, custom foot pedals, cushioned ISO grips, and focus strap, and stores just about anywhere.
Each Ab Lounge XL system includes an ab blasting DVD, healthy eating guide, 2-week jumpstart program, and aerobic workout.
Call now to try the Ab Lounge XL for 30 days for just $1. We'll even pick up the shipping and handling.
We know you'll love it, but if for some reason you don't, simply call within the trial period. Send the system back and you'll have no additional payments.
Best of all, if you return the Ab Lounge XL because it's not for you, we'll even refund your $1. Call for details.
So what can you get for a buck?
You can get this greasy hamburger for a buck.
Or you can discover the secret to $1 Million abs.
7:55 to go in the third, and the fifth-year senior, Brian Leonard, getting Rutgers' 4th touchdown of the day, his first of the day, 3rd of the year. There's the drive, 48 yards in just over 5 minutes.
And that's what you want if you're Coach Schiano. You want your team to come out and respond in the second half. Find that same intensity that got you the big lead in the first half when you open up the second half.
Here's Zito's kick. Lets it bounce at the 10. And they turn out to the 15-yard line. Let's check in with Christina Kynan.
Thanks so much. I'm here with Commander John Nelson, who controls the cannon up here on the hill. John, tell us a little bit about the history of the cannon.
Well, the cannon was donated by the class of 1949 on their 20th anniversary. The gun has been here since 1969 and was run by the Rutgers ROTC group for a while, and we took it over in 77 or 78, and we've been here ever since.
Great. And when exactly is it fired?
Well, we fire it when the team comes out for Colonel Rutgers in honor of Henry Rutgers and our ex-commander, and during, of course, every touchdown or point after or field goal, and then the end of the half, end of the game.
Any unfortunate mishaps?
We've missed one or two point afters, but nothing otherwise.
Well, they've certainly been busy this season.
They've been busy today, Christina. Thank you very much, and I'm glad there haven't been any more unfortunate mishaps other than missing an occasional PAT.
Yeah, we should ask the mishaps. Did you miss your target, or did you?
Well, they've scored 4 touchdowns today, and of course, the extra points, so they've been very busy. Here's Syracuse with the football. And on second down and short, going to be close to a first down. Let's listen to that cannon and just get a taste for how loud this is.
I like the uniform. Look at the gear.
And they've got the look and everything. 6:46 to go here in the third quarter. 28-0 Rutgers. There's the cannon on the hill here at Rutgers Stadium. Recently renovated. This is a nice place to watch a college football game, especially on a beautiful day like this.
I think that's what surprised us when we came in. The fact that this is a college football atmosphere.
It really is.
New Jersey, toughness and everything, but once you get on campus, I mean, it's festive. The whole city's painted red. Everybody's got red stuff on, and I mean, they've really gotten festive behind Rutgers football, and it's a beautiful sight, and it's the way it should be at the birthplace of college football.
137 years ago this month, the very first college football game ever played here at Rutgers. First down and 10 after that first down. Needed measurement. They got it. A run here for DeLon Carter. Pickup of 2. All right, let's go to the studio and Mike Gleason.
Clay, missed opportunities. West Virginia fumbled at the 1. Then they get the football back, and they do score here.
So Pat White can do it by ground, but here he does it by air. Throwing a beautiful fade route in the corner to Brandon Miles. What a great catch. That's a stiff reception, touchdown of the year.
They go for 2. Pat White throws it into the turf, so 2-point conversion unsuccessful. Bulls by 2 in Morgantown.
Wow. What an upset that would be. It's like each team in the Big East is playing dangerous here late in the season. Louisville gets knocked off. Rutgers gets knocked off last week. Could it be that West Virginia gets beat again here this week?
It tells us about the quality of football in the conference. I mean, you know, you look at Cincinnati, they knocked off Rutgers, but they also gave Ohio State all they could handle up in Columbus. And that South Florida squad, they lost to Rutgers only by 2 points. So they think they're one of the elite squads there. And, you know, that's a credit and a compliment to the whole conference as a whole. The Big East was a basketball conference for so long. Well, now they're starting to play some very good football in this conference, too.
Patterson wants to throw on first down. Does to Chiara. And the third-string running back catching one there out of the backfield. Green on the stop. And it's going to be second down and 8.
Did you notice the trouble that Chiara had catching that football there? I mean, it was a simple screen 4 yards away, and I think it's the fact that Patterson being a lefty, I mean, you know, you really have to have a lot of repetitions catching the football from a left-handed quarterback. And when you got a big, strong-arm left-handed quarterback, which there haven't been too many of in my knowledge of the history of college football or in the NFL, it makes it even more difficult to catch the football.
They pitch it back to Carter. Trying to find room on the outside, and there's very little of it. Good pursuit by that Rutgers front 4 and also the linebacking core. It's going to bring up third down and 5. We're at Rutgers Stadium in Piscataway. With Jay Walker, I'm Clay Matvick, also joined by Christina Kynan, writer for the New York Daily News. Rutgers in their home red, Syracuse in white and orange today. Big 3rd down and 5 play coming up. 7th play of this drive. 2 receivers, 1 to either side. Patterson, 5-step drop. Comes underneath, ball tipped up into the air and picked off.
No, he dropped it.
He dropped the pass. It was intercepted by Courtney Green, excuse me, and he couldn't hold on.
You know, that ball was in the air for so long that there were actually 2 Rutgers defenders trying to get there. Courtney Green is the one that's got a beat on it, but he gets undercut by his safety coming up, Ron Geralt. So you had both safeties there around the football, and you see Coach Schiano. Oh, yeah. Oh, no. We had another opportunity. We let it slide.
Just under 4 minutes to go here in the quarter, and it's a punting situation now for Syracuse. And there is another series that stalls out. The Orange just have no luck today getting anything going offensively.
And that's one they should be able to convert. You're talking it was 3rd and 5. That's makeable. That's attainable. And in that case there, I mean, just the ball just popped up. And I really do think it has something to do with that delivery point when you've got a big left-handed quarterback and these college kids. The ball seems to sneak up on them all the time. I haven't seen a game where I've seen so many balls just sneak up on the wide receivers that they've dropped.
You see the expression on Coach Greg Robinson's face. There's Patterson on the phone. They're trying to work things out, get things turned around. Carney is on for another punt. This will be the 6th punt for Carney today. Let's keep an eye on that snap from Ian Hammond. He's been all over the place. It's a little better. Still wobbled, but was on target. Fair catch called for by Willie Foster. And they'll have it at the 17. So Rutgers has the ball again when we come back. 3:48 to go. 3rd quarter, 28-0.
Denver faces off against Colorado College Friday at 9:30 on ESPNU.
Just gives me the feeling like she's not listening to me.
Have you tried not saying every other word?
What?
Remember your ski trip story?
Yeah.
I was going down the hill and there was a crowd and
come on, that's
and I was
not me.
Stuff either happens or it doesn't.
Holy.
Using only my City Premier Pass credit card, I earn rewards points crazy fast, and I will do it restrained with this restraining device. I start with the points for buying my ticket and Victor's ticket, then earn points for my miles and his. Unbelievable. Using only the City Premier Pass credit card, I rock the house. Big time. Rewarding. Very, very, very rewarding.
Do you or someone you know love video games? Why, then you're gonna love Game Tap. Play classics like Pac-Man and Sonic to newer hits like Tomb Raider and Splinter Cell. All you need is a broadband-connected PC. There's no long-term commitment. New games are added each week. And if you act now, there's a free trial with your name on it. Get your free trial at GameTap.com/explore. Some games rated E to T, not all games rated by ESRB. The internet is standing by.
ESPNU tips off the college basketball season with the Old Spice Classic.
Oh, my!
Fresh faces, intense competition, season-defining moments. Live coverage of the Old Spice Classic continues Sunday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Sorry, Miami. Rutgers 28-0. 3:48 to go in the 3rd quarter, and they do not want to see their coach leave.
You know, they got to stop taking it personal because Miami is not going to be the only program that's looking at Schiano. I really don't think so. You know, I heard some talk in the hallway. They said they weren't really worried about Miami. They're a little nervous about Penn State. They say if Joe Paul would ever leave from Penn State, they think he would be the first choice, and they think Penn State's a legitimate threat to steal away their coach. But the coach is in demand. That's going to happen when you win a lot of football games.
Teal pitches back. Rice is going to get a short gain there on 1st down. Well, the rumor is down in Miami that he's coming down there now that Larry Coker has been fired. That announcement made yesterday. He was the defensive coordinator down there for a couple of years, but he's got a brand new contract up here at Rutgers. In fact, this is year one of a 7-year deal. Now, there is a buyout in that contract, but it's relatively minor. It's a $250,000 buyout, which I think most schools would afford.
Miami would call that chump change.
Right, especially for a hotshot coach like Greg Schiano. But right now, it's just a rumor. Teal backs away from center, cocks his arm, fires over the middle. Oh, Kenny Britt wide open and had it in his hands and lost it.
Perfectly thrown ball by Kevin Teal, the quarterback. By Mike Teal, the quarterback, does a good job of hitting the wide receiver in stride. And Britt's got to come away with this football. I mean, you take a look there, it's right there. That's a catchable ball there. He's got to have that one, but we tend to forget sometimes. He's just a freshman, and freshmen have to learn, and they're allowed to make freshman mistakes.
Terrell Lemon was there on the coverage, about 2 steps behind Britt.
Where's Kenny Britt from?
Kenny Britt is from Bayonne, New Jersey, a New Jersey guy and a true freshman.
Wow, they're playing football like that in New Jersey now, huh? The whole state's getting very competitive.
I thought there was an air of sarcasm to you. There's Teal backing away, throwing off his back foot and short. It's incomplete. He was trying to hit Brian Leonard.
Well, the reason why I bring up, where Britt is from in terms of football in New Jersey, we talk about, hey, is Schiano going to Florida? Is he going to Miami? They tend to think now that the football level in high school has improved so much here in the state of New Jersey, there may not be a need. You're not so reliant on getting out-of-state recruits now. If you can shore up New Jersey, which he has, there are a bunch of players on this Rutgers roster from New Jersey. They all commit here. The whole state's getting behind the program. I think that has to go into the decision-making process of Schiano.
Yeah, if you can get the best players out of New Jersey and then cherry pick, if you will, out of the state of Florida, which he has great ties to, really build something big here at Rutgers. Great field position here for Syracuse. We'll see if they can get on the board.
Taking a quick break?
I'd like to see that for someone very special.
This holiday, what do you give the most important person on your list? A Leo diamond from Kay Jewelers. The very first diamond to be independently certified for its superior brilliance. Handcrafted by the master diamond artisans at Leo Schachter. And hand-selected to match beautifully by Kay Jewelers.
Chris, it's beautiful. How did you know? Every kiss begins with K.
The ESPNU College Hockey Invitational. Denver faces off against Colorado College. Friday at 9:30 on ESPNU.
Think you can handle Chad Johnson one-on-one?
I don't think so.
Well, now you can bring Chad into your home with Fathead.
I'm a fathead? You calling me a fathead?
Like Chad, Fathead is big and bold with just a bit of attitude. Just peel and place in any home or office.
Now that was cool.
Fathead wall graphics are classic collectibles made for true fans only.
You're gonna want one of these.
Fathead can take a hit too. Printed on strong, durable vinyl, you can move Fathead over and over without damaging walls.
Fathead, go big, go real.
Too big and real to be available in stores. Fathead.com's where you can also find all your favorite players and teams. Officially licensed by the Collegiate Licensing Company, NASCAR, the NBA, the NFL, and Players Inc.
Don't I look good?
Visit Fathead.com and let a limited edition Fathead take over your room. Fathead.
Hey, I'm a fathead.
On this Thanksgiving weekend, Rutgers giving thanks that they're back in the saddle after a disappointing loss at Cincinnati, which ruined their shot at an undefeated season, and some people even said maybe even a shot at a national championship. But they're playing well today. It's 28-0 late here in the third quarter.
Yeah, they're going on all cylinders, and the defense has been phenomenal all game long. They haven't allowed Syracuse to mount a serious threat, and this is the best field position Syracuse has had all game, and it's because of special teams. So it'll be interesting now to see if Syracuse can try and find a way to get back into this football game, taking advantage of great field position.
Well, let's see if they can take advantage of it. You're right. There's Patterson backing away.
Double move. Got him. Oh!
overshot his receiver who was wide open.
I'm sorry, I got a little excited about that. That was a great route that was running. Wow, they were that close to converting that big play there. Dante Davis did a fantastic job of taking advantage of one-on-one coverage. You see the little roll here with a little half a pump fake here, and he just let that ball go a little bit too soon. Davis had his man beat by a good 10 yards.
Davis is a true freshman out of Virginia, and you can see where Greg Robinson is going with this thing here in this game. A lot of young guys are getting their first action of the game, and we'll probably see more of that as this thing wears on. Handoff. Now close to the 40-yard line, that's Curtis Brinkley. And Curtis Brinkley has had an interesting season. Of course, the sophomore out of Philadelphia lost his father, Curtis Sr., a little over a year ago after a battle with lymphoma. He was only 40 years old. His dad suggested Syracuse for his academics and his football, and he's dedicating the season to him.
Yeah, you know, that's tough because parents just mean so much, and to lose your father at such a young age is very difficult for any young man to do. But I think sometimes that can be the motivational tool to go out there and exceed expectations.
You don't want this drive to die right now. They got great field position handed to them, and on 3rd and 8, can they convert? Patterson gets it downfield. It's going to be close to the first down. Good catch there by their sure-handed tight end, Tom Farron.
I think they got a favorable spot where they might get this first down. It's going to be very close there, but the spots seem to be favorable where they should get it. Good job by Patterson, too. I mean, big, tall guy in the pocket. You know, he stood tall in the pocket. Take a look here. He's just moving time, buying time with his feet. Slide, and then finding somebody that finally gets open. And the tight end, Farron, tried to lean forward for it, but that's one of the things. We knocked Patterson for taking the sacks, but in that case there, he stayed within himself in the pocket and stood calm and poised in the pocket.
Well, like Christina said earlier in the broadcast, he learned toughness from his mother, and he stayed tough there in the pocket. Just a hair short, about the nose of the foot, half of the football maybe.
And I think you've got to go for it here and bring in your pounder there. And you've got a quarterback. I mean, you know, Patterson's a big guy, 6'4", 245 pounds. I'd like to think you should get a quarterback sneak up the middle.
Well, they brought in Steve McDonald, their big fullback, number 48. He's going to be ahead of Curtis Brinkley in the I formation. Let's see what they do here. Check at the line. Oh, boy, it's going to be close. Brinkley may not have enough.
You talked about the fact they brought in McDonald, but they had Brinkley 6 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Why not just pound the ball to the quick guy, line him up 3 yards from the line of scrimmage, and let him move forward? In that case there, Brinkley doesn't have enough weight behind him to get that momentum for the first down, and I think he got stuffed.
Now they're going to measure again. Rankert and Devron Thompson, two of the linebackers, were the first ones there, and they really stuffed things up.
You know, when you get Brinkley getting the ball 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, he has to gain 4 yards in order to get the first down, and you'll see he came up short by a yard.
They actually pushed him back another length of the football.
I've always liked the quick hit on 4th down, 4th and short, either a quarterback sneak or give it to that fullback who's the up guy. But I don't like when quarterbacks have to go back 3 yards to give it to a running back, because now you got to get a 4-yard gain.
This takes time. It takes too much time.
Too much time is exactly right.
Leonard and Rice back in the backfield here for Rutgers as they have the football again. First down and 10 at their own 34. Teal going to Rice, and he has nowhere to run. A loss of a yard. Let's go to the studio and Mike Gleason.
Clay, South Florida must enjoy their role as a spoiler. Remember last year they knocked Louisville out of contention for BCS. Now Matt Grothe finds Ian Randolph, who walks the tightrope down the sidelines in for the score. Slayton and Whitehead, they combined 58 rushing yards for West Virginia. Bulls lead the Mountaineers in Morgantown 21-12.
That's good news for the Scarlet Knights. I'll tell you what, that South Florida program, it's amazing what they've done down there in a decade.
Oh, wow. I mean, they've come from nowhere. You know, a lot of people didn't even realize they had football, and now they're participating on the highest level.
Leonard shaking loose.
He's special.
Brian Leonard to the 42-yard line of Syracuse.
Have you ever seen a fullback with breakaway speed? He showed the breakaway speed there when they took a poor angle on the tackle.
A gain of 22 on that play, and it should be the last play of the quarter. Denard Jackson made what might have been a touchdown-saving tackle there on the big fullback. Now he's having a great day on senior day. Fifth-year senior, Brian Leonard. Here's another look at that run as we go to break. It's been a good day for all of the Syracuse players. It's 28 rip.
Denver faces off against Colorado College Friday at 9:30 on ESPNU.
ESPNU tips off the college basketball season with the Old Spice Classic. Fresh faces, intense competition, season-defining moments. Live coverage of the Old Spice Classic continues Sunday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
The enemies of Krypton's last son have united to conquer mankind. If you had the power to defend the people that need you most, could you save Metropolis? Superman Returns, the video game, available now. Rated T for Teen, and own the movie on DVD November 28th. It lives in the walls. It's here to do God's work.
This is not what God wants!
Now it's on DVD, starring Kane. See no evil. Own it November 28th.
You already know that college is expensive, and more bills will be arriving soon. You need money for next semester's tuition, books, living expenses, a computer, and other costs. A Chase Education loan can help. You can get up to $40,000 a year for most college expenses mailed to your home in about a week. It's easy. Students can apply by phone or online in as little as 15 minutes. And unlike other consumer loans, repayment can begin after graduation. If financial aid and federal student loans aren't enough, call 888-663-3032 or visit chaseed36.com. That's 888-663-3032 or chaseed36.com.
Dad!
Oh, yeah?
I'm getting a dorm room too, right?
Right. You're going to live in a dorm room and Mommy and I are going to live in a nice cardboard box.
Act now. For a limited time, you'll receive a $50 Best Buy gift card with your loan.
ESPN Shop has authentic gifts for everyone on your holiday roster. From clothes to cleats and everything in between. You want it? We've got it. Purchase a gift card or shop from the comfort of your own home this holiday season at ESPN Shop. Real gear for real fans. Get free shipping on orders over $75. Go to ESPNshop.com, keyword free shipping.
He is one of the youngest and brightest coaches in the country, Greg Schiano. He has turned this Rutgers program around in a very, very short time. He coached his team to the biggest win in school history a couple of weeks ago, and perhaps its most deflating defeat within 7 days. Rutgers, ranked 15th in the country, still controls its own destiny and needs to win out to win the Big East. There's also rumors swirling that he may be headed elsewhere, specifically Miami. There's that penalty flag coming out again on that short run by Ray Rice. Do you think there's any truth that, to those rumors down there in Miami that he's the guy that they're going to go after hard and that he's going to actually come?
From the spot of the foul, repeat first down.
I think so, and I think, it's real. It's a real threat. A lot of times you hear stories, they just come from nowhere, but the fact that, Rutgers recruits heavily in Miami. They have billboards down there promoting Rutgers football in Broward County and Dade County and all those counties. And when you look in the Rutgers media guides in terms of the players he's coached, they got a lot of quotes from the former Hurricanes. Ed Reed and those guys that he coached down there. So the ties are there, and I really do think the threat is real.
There's a billboard down there right now in Broward County that says season's greetings from Rutgers University football.
They got snowbirds down there. Isn't that what they call the people that move down there for the winter? They got the snowbirds, and they want to make them feel home. And it's a great, beautiful relationship for Rutgers fans.
They leave nothing to the imagination about what they're trying to do down there. It's open, it's blatant. And, you know, Greg Schiano has done a great job. There is no question he's one of the top coaches in the country, young coaches. In fact, he's the 7th youngest head coach in the country right now.
And that's what's so intriguing about him. That's why these different programs are going to come after him. This won't be the first time. And, you know, if you're Rutgers, you hope it's the last. You can seal them up long term. But teams are going to keep coming. When you've got young coaches that have energy and a proven track record, those are just hard to come by.
Teal has a man wide open. The tight end, Sam Johnson. Here's another New Jersey product. And another player playing in his final game here at Rutgers Stadium. You can see they're trying to get as many seniors involved here today as they possibly can. This time it's the tight end, Johnson, for 24.
Yeah, I mean, Johnson just gets a clean release off the line of scrimmage. And you like to see seniors like Johnson get catches. He's been overshadowed so much in his career by Clark Harris, but he's showing he's a capable and ready backup. Johnson's got one of those builds, too. I mean, he's 6'4", 260 pounds, so they've got great build. I mean, you know, they've got tight ends here at Rutgers.
They go back to the ground game with Leonard. At first down carry, he's going to pick up 3 yards on the play. 2nd down and 7 coming up as Rutgers is back in the red zone. Jerry Mackey with the tackle.
And Jerry Mackey's played a good football game for Syracuse. I mean, although the score doesn't show it, if you had to pick out a defensive MVP, Jerry Mackey coming off that injured right hand that he had, he's been active around the football all game.
And Sam Johnson, his first catch of the season on senior day. Shuffling some guys around. Teal's got him set. 12:47 to go. 28-0 Rutgers looking for more points. Here's Rice trying to cut the corner on the left side. Gets close to the 15-yard line before he's covered on.
I mean, that was impressive. There was absolutely nothing there on the left side. When they made that pitch over there, Syracuse did a good job of reacting hard to the left side of the offensive line for Rutgers. He did a good job getting back to the line of scrimmage. He made 2 people miss in the backfield. You know, I always tell everybody, it's not what what shows up on the stats, but when you got to run like that where you don't get negative yardage, means that you've got the ability to make folks miss, and that's why Ray Rice is such an exciting performer.
Again, one of the 3 finalists for the Maxwell Award. Quinn and Troy Smith, Player of the Year award. 3rd down and 7, Leonard in the backfield. They like to throw to him, but they're going to go to a different receiver, and this one is just out of the reach of Clark Harris. Going to the tight end again in the corner of the end zone, and this pass just a little bit long off the fingertips of Mike Teal.
Now you see here, I mean, he's got him wide open, but, you know, when you've got a tight end running downfield, you want to throw it a little bit closer to the body, but that's no excuse. Clark Harris should have come up with that football, but, I mean, they knew that schematically. And how do you let the team's #1 receiver go untouched down the field?
Number 88 on the offense. Penalty is declined. 4th down.
Actually called Kenny Britt with pass interference on that play. The receiver was involved in that play, and he was flagged. So now a 4th down situation. They're going to bring on Ito to attempt a field goal.
Ito will forever go down in Rutgers fame with the kicker that made the kick. The one that knocked off the Cardinal.
A 32-yard attempt here for Jeremy Ito. And 3 more on the board. So it's 31-0 Rutgers on top of Syracuse. And we're going to find out what exactly a Scarlet Knight is when we come back. Our sideline reporter, Christina Kynan from the New York Daily News, is going to help us out with that after this.
Wild Wings. You have to be here.
Honey, I I think I found the problem.
Want an easy way to keep your engine clean? Use Conoco Phillips 66 and 76 Quality Pro Clean gasolines. They meet the tough top-tier standard developed by BMW, Honda, GM, and Toyota to help keep your engine running its best. Conoco Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
DR changed lawn care forever with the DR Leaf and Lawn Vacuum. And now we've done it again with the new self-propelled walk-behind DR Leaf and Lawn Vacuum. Perfect for smaller properties, this powerful machine vacuums leaves, grass clippings, pine needles, acorns, everything. The AccuVac intake is adjustable on the fly, so even thick layers of leaves don't clog. Our optional vacuum hose is great for cleaning around all those hard-to-reach places, so creating a beautiful lawn has never been easier. Do it right, the DR way, with a DR Leaf and Lawn Vacuum.
Try out a DR Leaf and Lawn Vacuum for 6 months risk-free. Call 1-800-716-5171 for your free catalog and DVD on the complete line of DR Leaf and Lawn Vacs. That's 1-800-716-5171. Online at drleafvac.com.
DR is professional power for homeowners.
All Rutgers with under 12 minutes to go in this ballgame. 31-0 as Jeremy Ito is ready to kick off here. 43,000 plus, the second largest crowd in the history of Rutgers football. Of course, the largest was a couple of weeks ago, that big win over Louisville. And those fans came out onto the field afterwards. One of the great scenes in college football this year.
Yeah, that may be up for one of those little ESPY awards we like to give.
Yeah, that's right.
That was definitely a college football-friendly environment that evening.
Here's Zito, and this one is in the end zone. It's going to be a touchback. Let's go to Christina Kynan, the writer from the New York Daily News, with this report.
We're here with Chuck, the host of this tailgate extravaganza. Chuck, tell us what a Scarlet Knight is.
Scarlet Knight is the Rutgers mascot.
It's a knight in the shining armor, really.
It's a night of football. It's football, Rutgers football.
They are people on a football team that's really, really good.
The first football game, the men from Rutgers wore scarlet scarves to tell them from their opponents from Princeton.
What is a Scarlet Knight? It's Rutgers.
It's Rutgers, really. It's all Rutgers. Okay?
It's all Rutgers, and right now it is all Rutgers. The score is 31-0, and we want to give a special thank you to Christina Kynan, who did such a great job today. There is the Scarlet Knight in full attire here.
It's Rutgers.
It is Rutgers.
You can't put it any better than that. The Scarlet Knight is Rutgers. The Scarlet Knight is to be a force in college football for years to come, looks like.
Andrew Robinson back in at quarterback for Syracuse, the backup to Perry Patterson. This is his second series. On second down at 12, is going to throw, and he throws it low and behind the intended receiver, incomplete. All right, let's go down to Christina Kynan. And Christina, I want to ask you, what have you thought about your day here as an ESPNU sideline reporter?
Well, it's been very exciting, very loud, and very fast-paced.
That's college football. What did you learn today?
I learned today that a woman can stand her ground here on a football field with all the men around here.
Now, if you had to wrap it all up, what would you say? What's a better environment, the newsroom or the football field?
What was that?
What's a louder environment, the newsroom with a deadline or the football stadium at Rutgers?
Which is louder?
Yeah.
Definitely the football stadium at Rutgers when they're winning.
Here's Robinson on a big run for Syracuse. And he's out to the 35-yard line. Christina, we appreciate it. Now, we understand you've got to hurry and get back because you've got to write your story. You've got a deadline.
I have an 8 p.m. deadline. I got to get back to the newsroom and write it up and hopefully make everyone here today look great.
Well, then we're going to release you so you can get ahead of traffic here.
Okay, great. Thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Christina.
Be kind to us, and that's J-J-A-Y and Clay C-L-A-Y.
That's right. Christina Kynan, a writer for the New York Daily News, and that story about her day as a reporter here for ESPNU is going to be in the Sunday edition of the New York Daily News. We hope you look for it. Here is Robinson. Robinson rolling out to his right, tucks and runs and is escorted out of bounds.
That's a good job by Andrew Robinson, the young quarterback, knowing when it's time to leave the pocket. So many times a quarterback will want to stay in there too long and they forget they got to run. So Robinson did a good job of getting flushed out of the pocket and picking up positive yardage on first down.
William Beckford taking him out. 2nd down and 3 coming up. So Rutgers has one more game to go after this one, and it's a big one. West Virginia coming up, and this Rutgers team has never won at West Virginia. But West Virginia, as we saw earlier, right now behind in that game with South Florida.
You know, and that's a different type of matchup when you talk about Rutgers going into Morgantown and South Florida going into Morgantown. And what a good run here.
That's DeLon
Carter.
He's got enough for the first down. Let's take a look again, Jay, at those Big East standings.
I mean, you know, it's a shuffle at the top. And, you know, if South Florida can pull off the upset, then things are going to get even more scrambled. Take a look there, UCF. I mean, they're one of the top teams. They're, you know, look like they're going to finish comfortably in 4th place. But if you talk about West Virginia going down, then that Louisville game is going to mean everything to the conference, because if Rutgers can knock off West Virginia again next week, what this conference really wants is to get 2 teams in the BCS. So the Rutgers-West Virginia game next week is going to be huge.
Well, South Florida is still leading, and it's in the 4th quarter now with 10 minutes left. Here's Robinson doing a nice job on his feet, a nice move there against the lone defender. And he gets inside the 35-yard line. Brandon Rankert able to make the tackle. It's an 11-yard pickup for the backup quarterback, Andrew Robinson, the freshman out of Baltimore.
And this is why offensive coordinators love mobile quarterbacks. When nothing's there, having the ability to pull it down and tuck it and make the linebacker miss, that's why you like having quarterbacks that have fresh feet.
What's going through his mind right now?
And I could have done that. But, I mean, you know, you feel for a guy. I mean, those numbers there aren't there. It hasn't all been his fault. I mean, no. Syracuse didn't give him any support. And Robinson's success has come running the football. And you expect Robinson to move better than Patterson.
Now, Robinson having no luck on that play. He's going to be sacked for a loss of at least 2. Jamal Westerman, again, tied for the team lead coming into this game with 6 sacks. We'll give him 1 there.
And, you know, and I feel for Patterson. I mean, as a senior quarterback, you can't have a worse ending than to finish your college career on the sideline watching a freshman quarterback in the game. So, you know, he's had courage. And I think one of the things that the coach has said is, you know, our down season has not been the fault of Perry Patterson. At times, he's been the one thing that we could always say we had.
I'd be looking at the future here of Syracuse football. Andrew Robinson, the quarterback. DeLon Carter, another freshman in there in the backfield. And now Robinson checking at the line. 3 receivers set on 2nd down and 12. Quick drop. Batted at the line. Anderson caught his own pass. Robinson. And he's down at the 31. It was tipped at the line, and Robinson caught his own pass.
I mean, he's an athlete. He showed athleticism, and he showed he knows what it takes to be on the football field. You see here, 3-step drop. This ball shouldn't get batted. You need better protection than that. But I like the fact that Robinson catches the football, becomes an athlete, and picks up some positive yardage on the play.
Well, you don't see that very often. That will be a statistic, too. A pass attempt and a completion.
Hey, helps
to
himself. Completion percentage.
Yeah. Chiara goes in motion. Robinson throws it onto the flat to Carter. He is dangerous in space. But a good job there by Devin McCourty to pull him out of bounds, but penalty flags come in.
Maybe a late hit, unnecessary roughness on the sideline there to keep the drive alive. But did you see how porous the pass protection was on Syracuse? I mean, he took 2 steps back, and there were defensive linemen yanking at the jersey of Robinson.
Personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 31 on the defense.
That's George Johnson.
Half the distance to the goal from the end of the play. First down.
And here's Greg Schiano coming over to get in his ear.
Well, that's what you got to do, just playing hard. And, you know, it's so tough when you're out there and you're all wired up and you want to make that tackle, but at the same time, you've got to concentrate to where that little white stripe is that we call a sideline in football, and just that little extra effort there. And he didn't get chewed out too bad by Coach Schiano.
No, because I'm sure Greg likes what he sees there as far as the energy and the enthusiasm from a freshman.
Especially in a 31-0 ball game, to keep that motor running like that. You'd rather have him too aggressive than too passive.
Fresh floor for Syracuse. Here is Robinson under center. And Andrew Robinson going to the air in the end zone. Touchdown, Orange. J.J. Neshua. His second touchdown of the year. A 14-yard hookup with the backup quarterback, Robinson.
Robinson showed some calm under pressure. Rutgers tried to bring pressure, but he found the wide-open wide receiver in the one-on-one coverage. Take a look at Robinson there. Good play action. They got it protected. It's all the protection is the key, and that helps out the young freshman quarterback as he throws a perfectly thrown strike for the touchdown.
In just his 5th game of the season, which Robinson has appeared. It's his first touchdown pass. And the extra point is good by Patrick Shadle.
And it is good.
It's likely the future starting quarterback of the Syracuse Orange. He's got him on the board.
You are killing me, Birdwood.
Hey, take the secret shortcut.
Never heard of the secret shortcut.
Because it's a secret, Ham. Take it.
Not bad, Birdwood. You ever taken this trail, Birdwood?
Once, including now.
Now would be a good time to have accident forgiveness.
Not too bad.
Or new car replacement. Your choice auto insurance, only from Allstate. Are you in good hands?
Do you or someone you know love video games? Why, then you're gonna love Game Tap. Play classics like Pac-Man and Sonic to newer hits like Tomb Raider and Splinter Cell. All you need is a broadband-connected PC. There's no long-term commitment. New games are added each week. And if you act now, there's a free trial with your name on it. Get your free trial at GameTap.com/explore. Some games rated E to T, not all games rated by ESRB. The internet is standing by.
3 incomplete homework assignments. 5 movie trailers stopped midstream. 13 important phone calls missed.
When you've got dial-up, you can miss out on so much. Now, you don't have to anymore. Not when you can get high-speed Verizon Online DSL for a really low price. And you can do so much more, like click and connect to the net in an instant. Talk on the phone and surf the web at the same time on the same line. Download photos faster than ever before. Just call 1-866-545-9322. That's 1-866-545-9322 to get Verizon Online DSL for about what you've been paying for dial-up and see what you've been missing.
32 photos of grandson opened. 347 favorite disco tunes downloaded.
Phone, broadband, TV, Verizon.
ESPNU College Football is presented by Allstate. Are you in good hands? And by Remington Titanium Shavers. A beautiful day for football here in central New Jersey, Rutgers Stadium on this Thanksgiving weekend. And there's Andrew Robinson, who quarterbacked that scoring drive for Syracuse. 31-7 as the Orange get on the scoreboard here in this football game. 7:44 to go. It was a 10-play, 80-yard drive, just over 4 minutes. And on that drive, Jay, 33 yards rushing for Robinson. Good return for Willie Foster. There was a lot of yardage on it because he was going the wrong way.
He's exciting to watch, though. Definitely one of the premier return men in college football.
In the Big East standings in West Virginia, 8 minutes left in that game against South Florida, and the Mountaineers are down.
You know why South Florida is able to match up well against West Virginia, and Rutgers is going to see if they can do it. See, South Florida can run. And when you think of West Virginia, it's speed. Pat White, Slate, those guys are track guys. They're burners. But I think South Florida, you're talking about a whole team concept where they've got enough speed as those guys. So I think that's why they're able to have the matchup problems that they create for so many people, because they're just as fast as West Virginia.
Handoff there to Ray Rice. And coming up later, Louisville is at Pittsburgh. That game starting at 3:30 Eastern time.
I mean, going into Pittsburgh, that's no easy task, too. They get up and, they like to play football and get physical down there. When you got a Dave Wannstedt coach football team, they like to beat you up like the old days at Pitt. So Louisville's got their work cut out for them, too. And that's what we mean. From top to bottom, this Big East Conference has become very ultra competitive.
95 yards on the ground now for Ray Rice. Second down and 6. Here's Rice getting it again. Stays on his feet, gets around that left corner, and close to the 30-yard line, close to another first down. Looks like he's going to be about a yard short. And third down and about 1 coming up. Kelvin Smith, the middle linebacker, who's been fairly quiet here today. There's a guy we haven't talked about much. Number 8 for Syracuse. He's kind of the heart and soul of that orange defense. Second in the Big East in tackles. But, you know, he's going to be overshadowed in a game that's this out of hand. 31-7.
Yeah, you know, the key has been, we've talked about Brian Leonard running the ball, and it looks like Ray Rice is over 100 yards now, so it doesn't look like he really showed up to play tonight. It's been all Rutgers on offense.
To bring down Ray Rice, and up for the first down and about 3 or 4 more. He's well over 100 yards now. That was his 23rd carry of the day and his 8th 100-yard rushing game of the season.
And, you know, he's going to have many more in his career, but I'm just so impressed with the lean that he has. He keeps his momentum always going forward. You can pull at him from different angles and twist him sideways, but even when you turn him sideways, he's still leaning forward.
You think he's done for the day now?
I would think so. He got the stats. You know, I don't know what else you can do. And you've got to, let's not forget, it's all about next week for this Rutgers program at this point. 5 minutes to go. They want to keep him healthy for next week.
Cordell Young getting his first touch of the day, the backup to Ray Rice. He is another young guy for Greg Schiano, a true freshman out of right here in New Jersey. Second on the team with 3 rushing touchdowns. So he has already been indoctrinated into this offense. Even though he's a true freshman, they're using him a little bit.
Yeah, they're playing him. And, you know, when you get a guy of Cordell Young's caliber, one of the top recruits in the history of Rutgers football, so they were very excited to get him and land him. He had committed to University of Virginia out of high school, then decommitted when I think he saw the turnaround that Coach Schiano was making here at Rutgers, and I think they're glad to have him. And when you've got talented players, you got to find a way to put your best players on the field.
52 seconds.
Greg Schiano, when he first came here, said, you know what, I'm going to turn this into a great program. It's going to be a national title contender someday. I think a lot of people were...
Yeah, we've heard that before.
I don't know.
We've heard that before, but he's made believers out of all.
And look at all the great players he's been able to get here without a tradition. And now that he's starting to take this team to bowl games, he's got something to sell. So the future could only get better here at Rutgers. And here's a big run for Brian Leonard. On senior day, he continues to shine. Driven out of bounds in Syracuse territory, out at the 42-yard line. That is a run for Leonard of 21 yards, but there is a penalty flag down on the play.
You know, we talk about Leonard. What I like is his size and the ability to have a home run hitter at a fullback / tailback position.
After the play was over, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, number 5 on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the play, first down.
Leonard's got that explosiveness, and what I like when he gets into space, we know he weighs 235 pounds, but when he gets into space, he still feels that he can go. Look at that hold there. Whoa, they missed that call there with the hold, but you take a look at the late hit once he was out of bounds, and I'm just impressed with Leonard's ability when he gets into space to become a running back again, to have that acceleration to get extra yardage.
And Brian Leonard is such a good student as well, one of 8 finalists for the Dratty Award, which is the academic Heisman. We'll go back to Leonard, and a good run on first down. And in Schiano's 6 years, that's another thing that's so impressive about Greg Schiano. He has not had one academic casualty. Rutgers was 4th in the NCAA last year in academics. Of course, one of their big guys in the classroom is Leonard. And that's so impressive. Not only are they winning, but they're doing well in school.
And I think that's why he's so attractive to that university down in Miami we keep mentioning. You know, they're big on academics.
Again, just a rumor, just a rumor, folks.
You know, and that would be a perfect fit. I mean, anytime you can graduate your players and win football games, that's a school president's dream.
Second down and 3. Leonard again. Leonard now over 90 yards or close to 90 yards rushing, has almost 30 to receiving, so over 100 yards total offense. Here's Rice with the touchdown. And then on senior day, Leonard with a touchdown. It's a 1-2 punch here today for the Scarlet Knights.
So you call it the passing of the torch, and I think the torch is shining even brighter. Brian Leonard gladly giving over the reins of the offense to Ray Rice, and today both men are having productive afternoons.
And now Teal wants a timeout with 3:10 to go in the football game. It's 31-7. Rutgers try and get some more points, get some more guys involved here. And we're going to take a timeout as well. All right, stick around for the conclusion of this one. We're back in New Jersey after this.
On Monday, December 4th.
Jimmy?
Steve?
Who cried?
I did. Not me.
It was a sad ending and everything. I
saw you with your hand in your chin.
That's called concentrating on the moment. I wasn't crying, okay? I mean, seriously, I don't know why you got...
Elbow in.
The best coach I ever had was my dad. Practice. He taught me that the fundamentals, together with hard work, make anything possible. And now it's time to teach others what my dad taught me.
Introducing Steve Nash's MVP Basketball, the only DVD program that makes back-to-back MVP Steve Nash your personal coach. You'll learn Steve's fundamental training secrets to give you a competitive edge on the court.
I don't think there's anybody in the NBA that does it any better than Steve Nash.
What an opportunity to have Steve Nash as your child's personal coach.
This program is about the fundamentals of basketball, and Steve Nash knows the fundamentals of basketball.
Order two-time MVP Steve Nash's MVP Basketball program for the low introductory price of only $29.95. Act now and you'll receive a second DVD, Steve's Team Play and Practice Organization. Perfect for the parent coach, absolutely free. But it's not available in stores, so you must act now.
.310 to go here in Piscataway. Rutgers on their way to another win here at home and closing out a perfect season here at Rutgers Stadium. 5-0 right now, go to 6-0. 1984 was the last unbeaten season at home for this team.
A very long time ago, but that's the past. You know, Rutgers, they always talk about the future and what they're going to do, and they've got everything rolling on all cylinders.
They thought for a while here that they were going to be undefeated for the season. The last time Rutgers went undefeated in a year was 30 years ago, 1976. They went 11-0. They've celebrated that 30-year anniversary of that team. And for a while there, looked good. But then last week, of course, got upset at Cincinnati. Still, this team controls its own destiny. So even though everything has changed for this team, really nothing has, because they can still win the Big East.
They've got to play hard, and they've got to win out. And, that's going to be the key. And you want to finish strong. I mean, but I'm impressed. They put last week's loss behind them. It looks like they're back and they're focused, and they realize they still have much work to do.
Go back to Leonard. They keep using their big bull fullback. The one-loss teams in the country, one is losing right now. We told you about West Virginia. They're behind right now to South Florida. Florida is winning its football game. They're in Tallahassee today.
And number 3 has to play number 5, USC Notre Dame. Everybody's getting ready for that big contest tonight. Everybody sleeps on Wisconsin. I mean, Wisconsin, one loss.
That's a good football team.
Very good football team. Everybody's seen them, and they haven't complained out loud. And I think a lot of that goes to their coaching staff there. They say, hey, the BCS is what it is, but they're an 11-1 team, and they haven't lost in a long time. And their one loss this season has been to one of the big boys, one of the top 3 teams in the country. So don't sleep on the Badgers.
On 3rd and 5 to Leonard again. Trying to battle his way close to the first down. Doesn't look like he's got it. Let's see what they do here. Maybe a field goal. That's maybe what they were trying to do, just get into position for an Ito field goal. But the crowd wants him to go for it. The Big East will send the Big East champion to a BCS game. It's conceivable that the Big East could get 2 teams into the BCS. If they get one, the next bowl down would be the Gator or the Sun. And, of course, if Rutgers wins out, they're in the BCS. but they've never won in Morgantown, and that's where they're at next week. They have decided to go for it here. Teal is under center. To Leonard, and he's got it. And this crowd is appreciative.
They love him. They really do love Brian Leonard here. You know, I just want to point out a couple things. We talked about so many reasons on why should Schiano go to Miami. You know, let's talk about the good things here. At Rutgers, he's got a base. You're talking about you're really the official college football team of the nation's largest media market. You got an airport you can get recruits in and out of, 2 airports you can get them in and out of. So there's a lot to grow. This could be a gold mine. So, you know, before we talk about why he's leaving, where he's going, let's look at all the things they can do. And everybody knows if you win at Rutgers, the whole nation knows that you're winning football games. So it's one of those places where if you can do it here, you should be able to do it anywhere. So that would be a reason for him to think about staying. And he'll be the mayor of the New York metropolitan area or the governor or whatever if he can continue to win at Rutgers.
Well, the more we talk about it, I think he's staying.
I talked you into it, too.
Yeah, I think you did. You should be his agent. 15 seconds to go. They're going to try and get in one more time. I think they're going to try and get it to Leonard. You bet. Brian Leonard on senior day is going to go out with another touchdown. The 46th of his career.
When you're having the type of season that Rutgers is having, did you not think Brian Leonard was going to get that second touchdown on the day to cap off his career?
That's what that whole drive was about, setting that up right there. It was their salute to their senior. And the news out of South Florida, it's still the Bulls on top, 24-12. So things looking good for Rutgers. Of course, they're going to Morgantown next week where they have never won. Ito the extra point. It's under 6 minutes to go in that game between South Florida and West Virginia. We told you that Rice and Leonard very close. After this touchdown by Brian Leonard, let's show you how Ray Rice responded on the sideline. His biggest cheerleader. Those guys are tight.
And that's how you know that it's a genuine bond. It's not phony. I mean, the easy thing for Rice would have been, if they weren't really good friends, would have been just to look away. But the fact that he was cheering for Leonard lets you know that there's a true appreciation for each other's talent and skills, and there's a long-lasting friendship as well.
We got a moment here. I'd like to say thanks to the help of the people we had here in the booth, the stage manager, Bob Anderson, stats, Peter Barnsley, who's helped us out so many times this season. Brian Prelou, also on stats. Rich Freischer, our statistician and spotter. Also in the truck, Casey Carter, our producer. Eric Eisenstein, the director. Lee Boudreau, Matt McCandlish in the truck this season on the noon game. We appreciate their help. Crowd very appreciative of what they have seen from this 2006 Rutgers football team. They have really brought college football back to this community.
And they've got 2 more games to go. They'll go next week to Morgantown. And if you're the Scarlet Knight fans, you need to stay in touch with your travel agent. Because after Morgantown, you got to get ready to go to a bowl game somewhere. Congratulations, 2 out of 3 years, the Scarlet Knights have been going to a college football bowl game.
And that's going to do it. Next week, it's off to West Virginia. Again, this team controls its own destiny. Our final score, Rutgers 38, Syracuse 7. Coming up at 3:30, the NCAA Division I Football Championship begins as Coastal Carolina faces off against Appalachian State. For Jay Walker, I'm Clay Matvick. Let's go to Mike Gleason.
All right, thanks a lot, Clay. Compliments of Texas losing. Oklahoma wins the Big 12 South with a victory over Oklahoma State. But Dontrell Savage gets the Cowboys on top. His 5th rushing touchdown in the last 6 games. But Adrian Peterson, they thought he might play. No, Bob Stoops said no. But you know what? Alan Patrick has 3 straight 100-yard games. Here's a big gainer for the Sooners out to the midfield stripe. And right now, Oklahoma with good field position, but trailing 7-0 to the Cowboys. Now, you know, the Cowboys have scored 400 points. Darius Bowman has more than 1,000 receiving yards. third receiver in school history to do that, yet they're a sub-500 team in league play. But I guess the bottom line is the story here is Oklahoma. Alan Patrick, 173 against Texas A&M again. Hi, everybody. Along with Steve Israel, Mike Gleason here. Great to have you with us. Keep him busy here at SportsCenter U, which keeps us away from all that leftover turkey. Texas Longhorns feeling like turkeys today, losing to Texas A&M, losing a shot at the Big 12 championship game. And you consider the fact that Oklahoma lost their quarterback and they lost Adrian Peterson. This is very, very successful season for Bob Stoops.
It is. You can't say enough of the job that Coach Stoops has done, losing his quarterback. But you know what? Give credit to Paul Thompson also. Kid came into the season thinking he was going to play receiver, but you know what? Got pushed into the starting quarterback, not only starting quarterback, but the leadership role, and not just the offense, but this entire team, and he's done an excellent job in the reins. And you know what? Losing Adrian Peterson and then Alan Patrick stepping in to keep the rushing game going on. Can't say enough about this Oklahoma team. Who would have ever thought they would be where they are right now?
So Oklahoma goes to the Big 12 title game if they beat Oklahoma State. Now, the Buckeyes of Ohio State ran the table. They're sitting at home wondering who the number 2 team in the BCS standings will wind up being. You see the Trojans and Gators are 3-4, still trailing Michigan, but the lead behind Michigan has dissipated some. But as they always say, this will play out. The Trojans control their own destiny. The Florida Gators feeling like they still have a good shot. Florida, they haven't given up hope, taking on Florida State in Tallahassee. Chris Lee, 19 scoring strike. This one to Andre Caldwell, 66 yards for the touchdown.
Andre Caldwell showing that magnificent speed he has, jetting down the sideline, outracing all the Florida Seminoles, getting a touchdown.
Thorpe nominee Reggie Nelson puts the hat on Joe Surratt. Let's take another look at it.
That's what football is all about. It's a physical game. You're going to get hit.
All right, out of the shotgun, direct snap to Percy Harvin. He takes off to the races, 41 yards. Touchdown, Florida.
Percy Harvin's very talented. Urban Meyer really loves all the talent that he brings to this Gator team.
Now, you look at the interceptions. We mentioned that Reggie Nelson had 4 coming in. He's got the big hit there. Ryan Smith with 6. Guess what? Drew Weatherford, 3 INTs in the ballgame already, 14-7. You know, they say the rivalries, you can throw the records out the window, but I'm not so sure if this holds true in this game today is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the Noles clearly aren't the same team they used to be. They were 109th in rushing last year. They said they would rectify that. They're 100th this year. You know, there's a lot of different directions you can go in looking at Florida State, but for me it starts at the top, and it starts with the coaching situation. Jeff Bowden decided to step down. It was too much involving the coaches. It's about the team and the players. These kids are talented players, and they deserve more. Stop going back and forth about the coaching situation. Find a coach, offensive coordinator specifically, that can help these kids utilize their talent and motivate them. Maybe we need to go a step above Jeff Bowden. What about his dad, Mike? I don't know. I'll tell you, Dad, he was, what, top 5 for 14 straight years? They haven't been top 10 since 2000. Now, I think, and I hate to say this because I'm not one of those guys usually, but sooner or later, I mean, someone has to look at that and say, hey, Bobby, the program's just not what it used to be. You know what? These guys are not doing the things that they need to do. There's simply too much talent down there. You have a top talent and Roll coming in as a freshman, as a strong safety. There's too much talent down there. They're underachieving. Simple as that. They're underachieving, and it starts at the top. All right, as for those of you getting ready for the USC Notre Dame game in the Coliseum tonight, we can only hope it's half as good as it was last year. And you know what? It will be. It will be. Brady Quinn brings electrifying play from the quarterback position, but we all know he doesn't have enough there. He's made all the great throws and done an excellent job finding Riemann McKnight and Jeff Samardzija. All the immediate throws, long-distance throws under the tutelage of Charlie Weiss. But you know what? It's been against Army, Navy, Air Force, North Carolina. He's going to need help from Darius Walker in the running game if he feels as though he's going to be able to contend with this, a very aggressive and hungry USC defense. Being led by Lawrence Jackson, coming off the edge, applying pressure. Brian Cushing, another very talented defensive end / linebacker. This defense is really coming into its own toward the end of the season, right when you want them. Talented linebackers all over. Keith Rivers really coming in and gelling, helping this powerful offense. John David Booty, you're getting to hear so much about Brady Quinn. Watch out for the play from this guy. He has a serious receiving core and a sure-handed Steve Smith.
Dwayne Jarrett doing what he does best, catching touchdowns, and just enough from the running game. Chauncey Washington pretty much getting most of the carries. Not the firepower from last year. There's no way you can replace a Reggie Bush and Lindell White and Matt Lyon. But enough credit has not been given to this USC offense.
You know, you talk about Samardzija and McKnight and Jarrett Smith. Who has the better receivers in the ball game, in your estimation?
Well, you can't say enough about the job that Jeff Samardzija has done. But across the board, if you're looking at the entire group, is no one close to USC. The best receiving court, not just in this game, but the entire country. Dwayne Jarrett, Steve Smith, and also you're looking at Patrick Turner. It's not enough balls for him, you know?
All right, to the big game today. Rutgers picks up their 10th victory. Let's go back out to New Jersey. Clay Matvick with a very happy Greg Schiano.
That's right, Mike. Thank you very much. 38-7, the final here today. The final game at Rutgers Stadium for the Scarlet Knights here in 2006. And, Jay, they looked very impressive today.
Yeah, they had it going on all cylinders. The question was, how would they respond after last week's such disappointing loss to Cincinnati? Well, they responded well, and they're a team on the rise.
Let's bring in the winning coach, Greg Schiano. And first of all, Coach, congratulations on what has been an outstanding season thus far. And you must be happy with the way your team played today.
I really am. I thought the kids did a great job in preparation this week, and they came back out and played very, very well. That's our kind of football right there.
You get the win, and right now West Virginia is losing. Your thoughts on what that might do to the BCS?
You know what? All I know is what we can control, and that was today, and we did it. Now we got to get ready for a great West Virginia team that's got so many weapons, and we're starting right now. We'll celebrate for about 10 minutes, and then we're starting. We got a chance to be the Big East champs, and that ain't never happened around here.
Coach, I think you'll agree, in order to be Big East champs, you're going to need your running back duo to get busy again next week like they did today. Talk about Brian Leonard and Ray Rice.
Well, you know, that's the way we play. You know, the same runs that are 2- or 3-yard runs in the first half turn to be 5-, 6-, 12-yard runs in the second half. We wear people down, and that's our game plan, and we need to play good defense to be able to do that.
We see the numbers they put up on Saturdays on the field, but talk about the relationship these two young men have formed together as teammates.
Well, it's one of the great rewards of coaching, to see guys come from completely different backgrounds, guys that are, you know, just such close friends. And you talk about a mentor. Brian has meant so much to Ray, and I really believe Ray has meant just as much to Brian. It's really brought Brian out of a little bit of a shyness and made him a leader.
Coach, Larry Coker fired at Miami yesterday. The rumor is that you're going to be at the top of the list to replace him down there. Your thoughts on that?
I know one thing. This is a very special place, and I look forward to being here for a long, long time.
Is it something you might be interested in?
Long, long time, I just said.
Very good. Good enough.
Thank you.
Coach Greg Schiano, victorious today here in the final game of the season at Rutgers Stadium.
Yeah, I mean, he had a dream season. They've done so much. You can understand if he wants to stay here, I don't think anybody could blame him. And that tells you how far this Rutgers program has come.
This was year one of what is a 7-year contract for Greg Schiano. 38-7 the final. Let's go back to the studio now and Mike Gleason.
All right, thanks a lot to Clay. Sports Center in-game update right now. Oklahoma State. Sooners down 7-zip. Chris Brown rectifies that problem. Pounds his way in. So without Adrian Peterson, they're still getting the production out of the running back.
You know, a lot of credit has to go to the strong offensive line that they have. That's a very powerful and big offensive line.
All right, Izzy, some NCAA Division I football championship bonus coverage. McNeese State and the Grizzlies of Montana. Let's go out with Jeremy Jorgensen and Grady Bennon with the call.
All right, we're at Washington Grizzlies Stadium in Missoula, Montana. First round of the playoffs. It's the Montana Grizzlies and the McNeese State Cowboys. The Grizzlies on the move, threatening. Josh Swager into the end zone, overthrows Ryan Bagley. It is 7-6 Montana. A couple of field goals so far for McNeese State. And the Grizzlies have a touchdown on the board. They're threatening for more points. It's been a good football game between two programs who have combined for 26 conference championships. Matt Viator in his first season for the Cowboys. Bobby Houck in his fourth season for the Montana Grizzlies. Great football game in front of a near capacity crowd in Missoula today.
Yeah, it's a huge crowd. Great job. Credit to the Montana faithful for coming out and supporting. And Dan Carpenter pretty much just as automatic as CJ is for McNeese State. And another score for Montana early in this game.
3:09 to go in the half. Montana
well,
leads
postseason
McNeese
football.
State
Speaking
10.
of that, Big East football is jockeying around. West Virginia got the best of Pitt. Now Louisville faces Pitt tonight. Both are tied with Rutgers, who led an egg in Cincinnati.
ESPNU tips off the college basketball season with the Old Spice Classic. Fresh faces, intense competition, season-defining moments. Live coverage of the Old Spice Classic continues Sunday at 11 a.m. and 1 p.m.
Oh, you're home early.
What's the point? Everyone's giving all those great gifts from Home Depot this year. Oh, where's the remote?
This year, the Home Depot is the place for great gifts, like a Magic Chef wine cooler for just $79.99, or a Charm Glow gas grill with side burner for $199. Only at the Home Depot.
No curb appeal. Hate the color. Oh, honey, this is it.
What you got there is an infestation.
A lot of life happens in your car. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76 quality Pro Clean gasolines help clean your engine as you drive.
The paint wasn't so bad.
So you can focus on more important things. Conoco, Phillips 66 and 76. Life happens between empty and full.
If you love the comfort of a wood fire, but don't enjoy the work and mess that goes with it, now there's an easier, cleaner way to split wood with the DR electric wood splitter. The DR simply plugs in and has the power to split 16-inch thick logs. The wood splitter has no fumes and is so quiet you can split wood indoors in the comfort of your garage, shed, or basement. The DR wood splitter is easy on your back and so compact you can wheel it and transport it. So why mess with splitting wood by hand or with a big gas-powered splitter? Split wood in comfort with the DR electric wood splitter. Call 1-800-511-6444 to find out how you can try a DR wood splitter in your own home risk-free. Factory direct savings are now in effect, so call 1-800-511-6444. Online at drwoodsplitter.com.
DR is professional power for homeowners.
Mountaineers at home against South Florida. That's 7-4 South Florida. Watch out. Second quarter, Pat White hit by Chris Robinson. He coughs up the ball. George Selvey picks it up the other way. Touchdown. It's 7-6. Less than a minute and a half. South Florida up by 1. Matt Grothe takes it in for the score. 19-6.
Does it by foot. Now it's by air. Pat White hits Brandon Miles on great thrown fade to the corner for the touchdown.
And they go for 2, unsuccessful. So third quarter, Grothe to Randolph. Randolph goes down the sidelines, ruled a touchdown, 21-12 at that juncture. And West Virginia just 132 rushing yards, second in the nation rushing coming in, 330. You see Grothe's numbers there, just a freshman, 21 of 29, 267 touchdown, but 2 INTs. White, 14 of 22, 170 yards, 2 touchdowns, but the rushing yards way down. All right, Syracuse Rutgers, a game you just saw. Ray Rice stifled against Cincinnati last week. Weaves his way in, 10 yards out, touchdown. His 17th of the season at 7-0 Rutgers. Mike Teal having a big day throwing the ball.
Big day. Kenny Britt catches a touchdown pass.
28 yards. Here comes Ray Rice again. Another 8-yarder. Sets up the touchdown on the very next play. Brian Leonard pounds his way in. 28-0. It's 38-7. That is the final. Teal, 10 of 15. $146, a couple of touchdowns, no INTs. Leonard and Rice each going over 100 yards rushing. And the bottom line, I guess, is Rutgers wins. That's their 10th. And now they're 5-1 in Big East play. You know, Greg Schiano, you just saw him here on ESPNU talking with Clay Matvick and Jay Walker. He was adamant saying he's staying at Rutgers. Now, how long that is, of course, coaches say what they have to say. Who knows what's going to happen 3 or 4 weeks down the road. Is he a good fit at Miami?
You know, I can understand him not wanting to leave after the awesome job he's done in turning around his program. But if he were to leave, it would be a no-brainer. He was a defensive coordinator there from 99 to 2000. He's a motivator. He's a disciplinarian. He's a fiery young coach. He knows how to recruit that area. And it's not a situation like he would have to turn around a program. It's the University of Miami. The talent is sitting there waiting for him. It's just him making a decision whether he wants to leave such a great program, heart and soul, character, and how he's got not just that team, but the entire state of New Jersey and the whole New York area behind him and believing in that program, Mike.
Well, he certainly turned things around. You take a look at the numbers now. Greg Schiano making about $875, 1.1 with incentives, and the buyout is $250,000, so very, very minor in this big numbers game of college football right now. You see his record, 29-40 at Rutgers. One bowl appearance, number 2, is coming up this year. Will it be a BCS bowl? That's the big question, of course.